Basic thumbnail, nothing too crazy.
Are you gonna do your camera or not?
I will have my camera on, but not at the start. Excellent connection, sweet. Everything is holding pretty well, and I should be hearing a jiggy sound pretty soon. Actually, where can I see my chat? Oh, chat's on the right side here. Okay. I'm so not used to this new interface. It's so hilarious.
Goddamn, Izanami can use the world.
As it actually time stop?
Yeah. She's one of the story bosses, but she's also every character's second arcade boss in Central Fiction, and apparently she too can give up all her meter for a certain amount of complete time stop.
You know, I'm kind of glad they actually worked out into the game somehow, because that sounds like it'd be kind of fun. There are so many games that were actually inspired by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on the PS1. I think I'll need to mention the memes of Waldo from back in the day with the Road Roller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Road Roller is funny, but I actually like what the OVA did with it instead because it made more sense. They didn't actually use Road Roller, they just made it a fucking oil tanker.
Oh, yeah. God, I've been thinking about actually watching that at some point.
I have part of that on DVD.
Okay.
They made it to show you those for a while, actually. I've had it for like a year.
Fun. That was the actual full series, right? Not the like the weird small OVA series?
It's the first/second half of the OVA series where in like 2002 they went back and covered the first half of Stardust. The 93 half is just the Battle in Egypt arc.
Alright.
So they look completely different.
Sweet.
Because, 93 to 2002.
Alright, here we go. Oh, I don't even need to have this on the screen anymore. I can turn off my ghetto chat window because I have an actual chat built in now. Which I might have to go retrieve it at some point, but it's fine. This is a podcast. We don't need to see that. Okay. We are, of course, the past few seconds have been live. We already got 2 people in here. Hell yeah. So, hey, boys and girls. What's up? Bob here with we have Brandon on the line. First time in a while that's happened. Not since I lived in fucking Phoenix originally, funny enough. Have I had a guest on this?
I don't think we've done something like this in actually like 5 years.
I think you're actually right about that. That's a funny thought when you look at it through that lens. Anyway, so hey, what's up, guys? Late night stream. Sorry about that. I have nothing better to do right now because my recording setup is not here. So I figured, hey, I might as well go ahead and show off some things, update you guys on what's going on currently. There's a reason I'm not too active on streams either here or on Twitch. Brandon's off in the background playing BlazBlue while I give this quick little rundown. So, well, let me see if I can't pull up my full screen webcam. I cannot. That's fine. Let me do something a little more ghetto then. As in just improvise. Full screen. So, this is kinda my new digs, I guess. Let me try and make this as big as I can. So yeah, welcome to the new house, boys. It's a bit fun. Let me take the webcam, show you around. TV back there. I got soundproof on the wall. I got my lights already set up. So far it's looking pretty spiffy. I don't mind it too much. I'm going to put a single T in the chat to see if it shows up on my end. T? No T on my chat? Okay. That's fine. At least I can see that the chat is there, so that's all good. So yeah, this is the reason why I have not been on the stream recently. Excuse me, actually. So my old bedroom was like a 10 by 10. This office I have is a 12 by 10, and unfortunately my desk is now on the complete opposite side from my fucking TV. Originally my desk was lower right next to my TV, so I need to get some new wires. I'm low on money, so I don't know. Any donations I guess tonight will go into getting the wires and replace it. Literally 2 wires. Shouldn't be more than like 30 bucks, but if you donate, it'll go right into basically just getting that up and running. Don't have to worry too long if you don't have the money for it. I'll get the money eventually. It's just, oh boy, I didn't expect this to be a good problem, I guess. All right, let's pop this.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to destroy your floor plan, you could just move your desk to where the shelves are.
I thought it did cross my mind earlier, but then I realized that would also substantially lower my walk space for my what's the thing called? The shelves. That was it. Well, shelves, and there wouldn't be a walking space between the futon I'm gonna set up and the wall. So that would suck.
Ah, yes, the futon. That was a fun day.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into that, but just so you guys know, things are mostly set up. I'm almost good to go. I have this guy hooked up to the Ethernet, hence why I'm doing this test stream. I got the PS4 hooked with the Ethernet as well. They're actually five. Okay, so this new stream layout for YouTube is confusing me because it's telling me like two different things here. Let me see if I can't find this. Okay, let's go with this. I can't tell if concurrent viewers means that there's currently 3 people or 5 playbacks means it's all currently.
Concurrent means everything is happening at one time.
Okay, that makes sense. Futon story sounds fun. Maybe later, because I'm still catching you guys up with stuff that's going on right now. So, the good news is I had more enough footage recorded at the old place that it should be able to buffer, cushion my upload schedule until I'm able to record Berserk Muso for myself, and the next project going on between me and Brandon, besides some mild temperature issues we have in here right now, that should be a remedy issue pretty quickly. If that's not the case, I will have to post more stream archives to the channel, so, you know, it's a thing. Whatever. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. Aside from that, I'm not able to stream consoles right now, console games, because, yeah, again, I need the wire that can reach all the way from my computer to the PS4 and back, so that'll be interesting.
Problems.
These are good issues we're having. I keep telling myself that. But
trust me, the alternative could always be worse. As you've seen twice in a row.
Yeah. Was there anything else? Shit, what was the other things I didn't mention? Oh yeah, Patreon plays will be resuming soon. I still have Iron's Log I need to post. I'm posting more BT4 today. Actually, that's right. I can talk about that. I actually just posted that video to Twitter like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. I think it was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of decided to just stop streaming Link Evolution. 5Ds took 3 hours to get through half of it. So I figured at this point, yeah, let's just do it off screen, Bob. It's fine, whatever. That would probably be for the best, in all honesty.
I mean, it lines up with how insanely long those story modes are.
Oh no, definitely. It's unfortunately very on brand, but yeah, it's still a bit on the rough side. Let's see.
And hey, at least there are alternatives to that too. Did you ever peek open that PC version I gave you?
No, but I think I do still have it downloaded. I'm aware I can just pop that open with all the cards unlocked, but the thing about me right now is I want to be able to experience the story wholly the first time, and it's not like it's a long game regardless, so it's a bit of a moot point. I just need to actually sit down and fucking play it.
Right, you actually still need to play the Arc 5 story for the first time.
Yes, I do. Called by the Grave and so many other cards are locked behind that damn thing. Zark notwithstanding, shit like fucking Crystal Wing and Starving Venom Dragon. I forget what the thing's fully called offhand.
Starving Venom Fusion, Clearwing Synchro, Dark Rebellion Exceeds, and Odd Eyes Pendulum.
Yeah, specifically the Starving Venom Dragon is what I need right now for some decks and Crystal Wing, but yeah, I'm still sad I don't think that they added Red Supernova Dragon. That's a shame. Oh, maybe eventually in another pack, but that would be super nice.
3 tuners.
And
I
think besides that, if I somehow end up completely running out of content, there is the fact that I just posted for BT4 today. The fact that they've revamped the Mission 100 mode.
Really?
Yes. I don't blame you if you didn't have time to watch it. BT4, those fucking mad Spanish bastards, it's to the point now that I can play the game on at a relatively competent level. I couldn't even beat the first Kid Goku in the first mission. Even with breaking out Perfect Cell and abusing his good stuff, I only just beat him, but I couldn't take down the next character after him, which was Krillin. It's hard. So, props to him for that. Unfortunately, I still have the language barrier of, Spanish that I had to overcome in order to actually customize my characters, but...
The game is actually in Spanish?
Yes, the text is fully in Spanish. Spanish dubs as well. Luckily, I can switch it back to subs. Is it fucked up to say that I understand way more Japanese than I do Spanish? It's kind of weird.
It's the life you've been living.
I need to learn how to get BT4 for the Wii version of the game. I'm not sure if they did that, because according to some people I've talked to, the BT4 mod is apparently only for the PS2 version. Those guys down Central South America apparently don't know it's for the Wii. It sounds weird, but apparently it's just kind of scary. I think that's why, on average, the game's less expensive on the Wii than the PS2. That might sound weird, but I think that's the case.
No, the Wii version generally still goes for like $50.
Yeah.
They hover around the same point.
I usually find BT3 for cheaper on the Wii, but then again, that depends on retail as well. Alright, so let's just go ahead. Since I'm pretty sure that's most of the important updates I wanted to actually mention. I see one for the Wii, but I believe it's made by French people. That's so yes, the only language I probably know less of than Spanish. French. Oh, good. No, that's kind of weird. I'm surprised those guys have never actually gotten someone to translate, I mean, I know the game's been out since, 2007, but it's a fun little mod. There's some fairly neat shit they did for that mod, so I'm surprised that they haven't tried to get someone to translate the whole game.
Do the characters actually play the way the new forms would, or is it just it's just palette swaps or new hair variants and they're the same movesets?
They actually put some moderate effort into the game. There's, of course, okay, I've played the game long enough, I can tell when there's reused assets, of course. But that being said, there is new cinematic supers, and there is a lot of new physical movesets for characters, even though I can tell when they're recycling things from other characters, like Super Saiyan Blue Goku. I can tell he uses some moves from Super Saiyan 3. That's just me, but it's still a good thing it's not just all model swaps, so it's pretty good.
Makes sense.
Someone put moderate effort into the game, so it's fantastic. Alright.
I'll give them credit for that.
It's a fun little mod. I might actually have to show it to you next time. Once you get past the fact that Goku's Spanish dub actor sounds like he's speaking through a tin can, we can just play subs for that. It's fine. Matsuko is always a good fallback. I said that.
Never thought I'd hear you say the day.
Yeah, I know, right? There are some times where I will say that, but no, the mod's pretty fun. I also gotta show you the Super GNT4 mod where they actually buffed the shit out of Shikamaru and other characters.
He's one of the ones I remember being a lot more fun back in the day than most of the other characters, so that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's address the first of the talking points I wanted to bring up for tonight. I'd say that, but originally it was mostly just gonna be me and Brand shooting the shit, just talking about the channel. But this happened this morning, and I figured, you know what, it's important enough, let's talk about it. Why the fuck not? So, you boys might be familiar with a little website called KissAnime. If you're... Oh, no, let me try to put on my best California/Texas actor impression for this one. If you've been a naughty little boy who has downloaded illegal anime for free before, you most likely know of this website. Every single voice actor I follow has been posting oh, it's a good thing that KissAnime shut down. And I'll let you interject on this in a minute. And I get it. Because illegal websites detract from some profits that anime studios would make. Let's see, I get that. But sometimes you have some companies like Aniplex who will charge you an arm and a fucking leg for their stuff.
Now, hold that thought just a moment. They do that for their physical properties, but for the most part, they tend to put out most of their releases on the general streaming platform. So you'll still be able to find Fate Zero, Fate, Blade Works, and whatnot. You'll still find those on Netflix, and more recently, thanks to being Funimation being bought by Sony, you'll see all of Aniplex's properties on Funimation's app as well. So Aniplex is only truly a cancer upon the world if you actually want to physically own their Blu-rays.
True.
That's where I want to drive a stake through their forehead.
I will 100% agree with you on that one. But as a general rule of thumb for myself, I will support a company when I know they're deserving of the money, or I know the money's going to the right people. Like for me, if an anime has been, or generally like an IP, has been around for fucking ages, I know the original creators are dead. Morbid, but bear with me. If I know that the money I would give would just go to like some corporate bigwigs, then I'll say, fuck it, I'm pirating this. Or something is too expensive, like Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Or if something is not available on all platforms, like originally Star Fox 2. As a general rule of thumb. That wasn't even released. That might not be a fair comparison. That's my general stance. I do try to support...
If you want to watch a show from the 80s that hasn't been licensed in at least the past 25 years.
Say your goodbyes, Lord ass, because you're about to die.
Oh, boy.
Stuff like that. Like, really old shit like that. That's where I absolutely say just pirate it. It's fine. Support anime where you can, reasonably. This might sound really corny, but I'm a firm believer that pirate something like a series you don't know of offhand, and then support it later when you know that it's good and you can support it further. That's my general mindset. But yeah, anyway, back to KissAnime. So anyway, a lot of people probably know this website. And I'm going to say that this website has been dead for a long time. For a reasonably long time now. There was a couple of reasons for that. Well, do you want to do this or should I?
If you want to talk about the shitty things that they were doing, sure. I'm actually still pretty sure most people don't know that they did that. But in terms of their viewer base, they were still getting in the millions. And even in the foreground, not just the background, still raking in the millions per month.
Yeah, I will agree that dollar sign that they have for the distribution of free IPs, that's bad. Like, minimal or just only through donation based, that's fine. But if it's all through excessive ad revenue, that's where I kind of draw a line. But I will talk about some things that you guys probably don't know about KissAnime, because I've been following them since 2009 actually. I've been with them for a fucking long time, or I've known about them for a huge time. Sorry, what?
I'll say one thing that's always been fucking hilarious to me is that they tried and mostly failed to actually block people from using ad block.
Yeah.
They tried.
Yeah.
They tried to actually fight that and still kind of lost, but bless them, they tried.
An attempt was made. Star, you tried. Yeah, definitely props to them for that at least. Sorta, I guess. Oh no, we can't make money on something we didn't create. Literally, the money is just going to hosting our servers. Okay.
At least they were on top of things?
I guess. Okay, allow me to take you guys on a little journey, shall we? So originally, KissAnime.ru or KissAnime.se, whatever the host... .io. God, that was one, wasn't it? Back in the day, before KissAnime started running between countries like they were a international criminal on the run.
Like they were Leo in Catch Me If You Can.
Yes. Or that one dude who leaked U.S. like documents or something. I forgot what he's called offhand. He's not Edward Snowden. He was the other one.
Chelsea Manning.
Not that one. The one who was kicked. The one who was dragged out of a U.S. embassy, kicking and screaming. You might know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the joke's relevant.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone will fill me in the comments in like 4 hours. Anyway,
Julian Assange.
Julian Assange, that was it. That was funny. That was fucking hilarious. So, originally KissAnime was exclusively on a .com extension, which is pretty common.
That feels like a relic of a bygone era.
Right? So, originally they were located on US server, which is, fine. Originally they had that. They had their own dedicated video player. Sometimes they would have a link to a mega upload video or something. If they had to have mirrors, it was fine. It wasn't that bad. We could talk about mega upload in a little bit if you want. But my point being is that eventually the guys who ran the website, much like mega upload before them, much like the Pirate Bay before them, were in some hot trouble. DMCA's legally take down your shit, or we'll take it down for you and take it to court. All that fun stuff. All that fun legalese things that are abused pretty regularly. Yeah.
Hey guys, have you heard of Napster? Have you heard of Metallica?
God. I have a funny feeling someone in chat would not know that story, and we will fill you in if you are not familiar with the Metallica Napster story. Because that's the flagrant abuse of power right there.
That gets even funnier when you realize that the sharing of music was killed by a band who made their rise on the sharing of cassette tapes back in the 80s.
Yup. That's part of the reason why I'm pretty sure that a lot of those DMCA claims are not directly from the artists themselves, because it's mostly through suits. That said, there are a lot of bands out there like Metallica and Kiss who are much more, they're much more marketers than they are actual musicians.
And that's a true instance of gatekeeping.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And so, because these boys were in a little bit of hot water, they migrated first to Russia. I'm pretty damn sure it was the .ru domain.
That was the longest standing domain.
Yeah. So they migrated to KissAnime.ru. And this is where things get a little bit wacky. Because once they start going into international waters, quote unquote, sorry, I'm not the mic, that's when things are a little less regulated. Bob, what might you mean by that? Well, see, I can't tell if they're hemorrhaging money, their dedicated video player went down, or it was altered in some way. But it became one of those memes where it's like, hey, you should disable your ad blocker so you can use our product. Disable ad block. Flooded with ads. Like, extend your penis here. Hot single MILFs in your area. Just a bunch of shit like that. And it gets even funnier because a couple years ago, guys might remember the Bitcoin craze before that economy shut down because there was no solidified ground for it to stand on, because no concrete currency and no one wanted to invest in it. Anyway,
I need to make a brief aside. You know how at the end of all their videos, TYT does the thing where they say become a member, join, get a membership, buy a t-shirt or what have you?
Yes.
Like 3 years ago, back when it was in full swing, they actually did have some ending reels where they said, spend Bitcoin on our website.
Oh, God.
Buy our t-shirts with Bitcoin.
Whatever you need to do to keep the lights on, man. Like, I know from first-hand experience that some content creators, when they promote a product, they don't know about the intricacies of it. Raid Shadow Legends. Turns out Raid Shadow Legends is a pretty bad company. Just saying.
They never filled out most of their payment contracts.
Raycons are pretty bad headphones for the dollar you spend. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Anyway, you make a great point. Sometimes you just gotta do something to keep the lights on, regardless. Someone realized this was originally a Tumblr post, and I'm pretty sure someone actually did backtrace this to some Reddit website. It turns out that if you look at your, I have Chrome open right now. If you hit, I think it was F12. Yes, if you click F12 and you look at your side processes, you get to see everything over there. Now, if you were to look at this at the real-time activities, when you click on a KissAnime video player, and not sometimes it could be their dedicated original video player, or it might be one of those ones that links to like some Spanish website or some Russian website. Often that. It was our Bitcoin mining you.
Yep.
You might wonder what that entails. Well, that means it starts tapping your GPU in order to start number crunching for Bitcoins. Real thing. So, yeah, good luck with that one, homie.
It must have worked to some extent. It took them a while for people to find out about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna assume, broad assumption. I'm gonna assume that the traditional anime viewer goes to KissAnime to watch like 1 or 2 episodes of their favorite shows probably doesn't know how task manager works. So
No.
probably not, and it would take someone who actually knows about the stuff to figure it out. Yeah. That said, though, like when you roll up a web page, usually you get like a little bar at the bottom left corner that says "is loading, waiting to ping website" or something.
Yes.
Usually, if you see like 12 of those pop up, that's when it's like, that's weird.
That shouldn't be doing that.
That should not be a thing. Let's just not do that. That's one of the reasons why I actually stopped going to KissAnime in general, because one, I like not having viruses on my computer. Just saying.
No.
No, yeah, just that's just me. And two is because that was when I was figuring out that some people post things to YouTube, like full episodes, occasionally as you get lucky. And then Brandon introduced me to torrents, and I never went back because, duh. Or you can just mooch off someone else's account for Funimation or Crunchyroll. Whatever.
I am the great provider.
Dude, so many rapid jokes about the payer for Netflix, the leeches. Good old classics.
I think Netflix actually made a post somewhere or a couple of years ago where they were actually asking people to stop sharing their Netflix accounts. Because people would actually share them with their family and get 3 to 5 people on a single account. It's like, wait, but that's up to like $40 extra we could be making per month. That's
Yep. You know, it's funny because Netflix has actually been hemorrhaging money for a while anyway, but it's a little late for them to try to get back on that. Anyway, so I figured to wrap up this good old KissAnime story, I wanted to share this tweet from Clifford Chapman, one of the many tweets I have seen condoning KissAnime.
Condemning.
Yeah, that I hope that's what I said. Oopsie.
You said condoning. That's the opposite.
That's not the right word. I am tired. Sorry about that.
Before we get to that, though, I want to go on a bit of a trip through memory lane to show that really people shouldn't be surprised about this, because really this is just history taking course. You might remember some other websites that don't exist anymore, or if they do, don't exist in anywhere near the same form, or have been through all of the same problems. Let's go back to 2007. You might be familiar with a website called Mega NZ or something.
Yes.
They're a file hosting platform. I don't even think those are the same people, but there used to be another Mega once upon a time. Mega Video and Mega Upload.
Yep.
Mega Video was this magical video player platform where you could only watch 70 minutes or 60 minutes of video at any given time, and then it would actually tell you, we are blocking you for 70 minutes. You have to go do something else for 70 minutes before you can watch the next video in this 12 or 200 episode anime that you're watching.
God, I remember that so vividly. That was how I watched Claymore the first time.
It's the Nintendo telling you to take a 15-minute break every 2 hours to the extreme.
Yep.
Because I think they actually blocked it by your IP address, so you couldn't even grab like a different computer or a tablet or something. Imagine 2009 or 2008 tablets. You couldn't even grab those to try to keep watching. Mega Upload was basically the Pirate Bay and Mega as it currently exists, just in a more crude fashion.
Yeah.
That was part of a bigger snafu. That was pretty much the only, or at least the most fervently exposed victim of the SOPA wars.
Oh yes, I remember that. You know, it's funny because they couldn't really. So, if I remember the story right, the Pirate Bay runners couldn't actually be pinned down because the thing about the torrents is that they're peer to peer. Technically
Yes.
speaking, the guys who run the website don't host anything. They just host links to something someone else has. So,
You can,
the Pirate Bay
you
still
can,
technically exists, kind of.
yes, yes, it does. It still has an active community. See, that's the thing about torrents as a medium is that you can never truly get rid of them
Nope.
because, as you said, they're peer to peer, and so long as the file format exists and is supported, you can never truly be rid of it.
Pretty much. That's. I think the Nya website changed from .se to .si recently, but that's
Yes, that happened
a
about
whole different thing.
that happened that happened 2 or 3 years ago. They were also briefly taken down before being lit back up on a backup server. There's them. They managed to make it out alive mostly. In the world of manga, there was Manga Stream, which pretty famously
Oh yeah.
wa- was cut down. About a decade ago now, there was One Manga and Manga Fox,
One manga, the legend.
where the website itself wasn't attacked, but thousands of copyrighted manga themselves were taken down because they were going to get sued. Ironically, companies like Viz and Tokyo Pop and Yen Press, they didn't care about the website existing. They just wanted their own individual properties to be taken down. So if a site had like 10,000 different series, by the end of it, they might have had maybe 200 left. And that killed the website in its own special way.
I just pull up a thing on the stream itself. This is what one manga used to look like back in 2009. Boy, this was like every single one of my Thursday afternoons in high school. Just waiting for a new. First, it started off with me waiting for a new Naruto to drop, and then when I switched to Bleach in the manga, that's when I was waiting for a new Bleach manga to drop. Boy, how far I've come.
Yeah. And so I don't think anyone remembers this anymore, but if you want to go super far back, it was 2010 or 2009. I'm pretty sure this was entirely just a stunt. I think it was on the Pirate Bay. But Funimation actually did attack pirators themselves. They tried to form a suit or a class action or something against exactly 1,337 people that illegally downloaded the episode where Ace died.
Did you just say 1,337?
Yes, I did.
That
Yes, I did.
that has to be the biggest fucking coincidence on the face of the earth. Okay.
I am entirely convinced that this was a marketing stunt to launch their streaming platform.
It had to have
They
been. There's no
they
fucking way this came upon a number back then.
see the joke is because that number is leet speak.
And for those young enough to not know what lead speak is, good.
It's literally the number for leet.
Yep.
So yeah, they did that, and that was a thing that no one remembers, and probably for the better. The point is, this was inevitable, and any other platforms that rise to its place, it's going to happen to them too, as it's happened 1,000 times before them. And even going back further, Napster, LimeWire, what have you, everything will fade in time.
Yep.
Nothing is forever.
This is why I and many other people are firm believers in not necessarily for manga because this manga itself is generally immune to this, but physical backups of medium because like say your favorite game goes down and it was a server based game, it's fucked.
This is
There's
this is
stuff.
it's a wider issue in general. Anything revolving around streaming or downloading, unless you have that downloaded forever, it'll all fade in time. You'll never be able to keep what you can't hold in your hands forever.
Yeah, that old myth about if you post something on the internet, is there forever? Fucking bullshit. Unless you use the Wayback Machine to meticulously look for something, it's gone. Like, period.
Again, evocative of a larger problem. That's the issue with Netflix licensing anime and then never giving them a physical release. Because if you buy a Blu-ray of Seven Deadly Sins or what have you, then you're not watching it on their own streaming platform, and the watch time doesn't turn into ads doesn't turn into higher revenue for that, which means they can't produce more. Which is a crock of shit in and of itself, but the point is, if you're watching it on your own time, you're not using their service and pumping more money into their own service.
Precisely. Don't you know, the media these days isn't something you own, it's a service you borrow. I hate it. God. Anyway,
Nothing is real. Everything is rental. Anyway, you can round this out with Cliff.
Yes. I'm using Cliff here not for any specific reason. I love Clifford Chapman. He is a really cool dude. But I'm using Clifford here because he's kinda emblematic and the biggest one of every single California and Texas like voice actor. When I woke up this morning, who was all like, "Yay, Kiss Anime's down," and it's a gray area for me. It's a gray area in general because, on the one hand, when you allow someone free access to a lot of stuff, if they care about it enough and they're invested in it enough, they will come back to support your series. Like, this has happened to me personally with various IPs that I'm like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Check it out. I'll give it a watch through, be like, oh yeah, I'll buy your stuff. Hell yeah. Or this has happened to my buddy Josh because I know sometimes he uses KissAnime. I'm pretty sure this has happened to you as well, where you pirate something for free, and if you like it, you'll go and support them themselves. It's something that is portrayed often as a strictly bad thing. I do not believe you need to give money in order to directly support something. That said, the money is usually a very direct way of supporting someone, but KissAnime by themselves being gone, moot point. They've been dead for a while for me anyway, but for the fact that they are gone now will actually force people to use more streaming services, or they can migrate to torrent websites, just saying.
I'm going to make a point, but I'm going to use it in a funny way that you'll instantly recognize.
Okay, go for it.
You can't eat glory.
Yes. You can't eat dreams.
You can't eat exposure.
That is 100% true. Not going to deny that. That being said, however, okay. Doom. That's all I need to say for that. To elaborate on that more. Back in the day, Doom, literally in its earliest state, was distributed through a bunch of guys on free disc ROMs or floppy drives. And
Shareware.
I don't know if it was either the full game or just the first act, but that got so many people wrapped up into it that eventually it exploded. I am a believer that you could try something free at first, and then if you like it, then you can support it more.
That goes further back to the Metallica tape trading days. I think the issue is we never really had that LimeWire transitioning into iTunes where you can just buy a song and know that it's going to be exactly the song you want for only $1. We haven't really hit that nexus point yet because it costs a lot more to produce an episode or a movie than it does for a song. So you'd never be able to realistically get away with charging only $1 per episode or something to put that on a download platform or a streaming platform. And astoundingly, there are some people that are like, well, $7 or $8 a month is still too much to pay for like 3,000 different titles. There are people that think that it's still not cheap enough, that it's still not worth it, and I don't really understand where they're coming from. To put it as bluntly as I can, anime has literally never been cheaper in the universe than it is right now.
Absolutely.
Be that through streaming platforms or through actually buying physical copies. I make a mistake every time I do it, but twice a year when the Right Stuff sales come in, I end up putting in about $400-500 per year when the sales come in, and end up getting a shit ton of crap out of it.
Yeah, I see the results. It's fun.
If you know how to spend your money right, you can fill out a shelf in no time.
Yeah, pretty much. This is why my PS2 shelf on my shelves is always just packed to the brim. Now, I don't want my words being misconstrued as I fully support piracy. I support piracy to an extent as long as something is hard to access. If it's through Funimation, I fully support use of the Funimation app because it's what, like $5 a month, hopefully.
Uh, it's I think they're like $8 a month. That's pretty much the standard for every platform nowadays.
Yes, but considering how extensive of a log you get for anime at that point in time, I do support that. Now, where it gets dicey, it's how many fucking streaming platforms there are. That's where it gets rough.
That's a different problem, but I agree with you.
Yes, that is a separate matter, but it's streaming. If I had access to streaming when I was a kid, my dad would not have had to wait every single month to go down to his Suncoast to pick up the next single DVD case of Dragon Ball Z for like $20 a pop for 3 to 4 episodes. Yeah. We've really come a long fucking way, especially from the PS3 days where you could buy individual anime episodes for like $3 a pop. Now it's like you pay for 3 of those anime episodes and you get infinite, borderline.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, in light of recent as this week news, the streaming wars, at least purely in the anime sector, might actually be reaching a singularity point. Because, funny enough, Crunchyroll is up for sale.
Oh.
AT&T don't want them anymore, and it's entirely possible that they might be bought out by Sony, because Sony already owns Aniplex. They've owned them forever. They were always the parent company. They're Funimation's parent company.
Yep.
If they buy Crunchyroll, then that means that once again Crunchyroll and Funimation will be under the same umbrella, which means that their libraries will theoretically merge again. Crunchyroll is also one of the founding partners of Verve, which when Funimation had to call off the wedding the first time, they ran to their side hoe, High Dive. High Dive is Sentai Filmworks' platform.
I have never even heard this platform before.
Exactly. They don't have a PS4 app. They don't have a PS4 app. They have apps on Xbox and on fucking Apple TV, but they don't have a fucking PS4 app. An anime platform. What the fuck is that? Anyway, so if Verve, being part of that same umbrella, gets bought out, gets put into Sony as well, that means that Sentai will also be will also be dropped into this stew, which means theoretically under the single platform, you could have Crunchyroll, Aniplex's properties, Funimation, and Sentai all under one roof. Theoretically, all under one payment.
It's fucking size of that.
It's not a guarantee, but it is entirely possible to be completely consolidated.
That is fucking mind-numbing in terms of the scale of that. That would be nuts.
And if that does happen, it doesn't matter what the price is. At that point, you have literally no excuse in the world for streaming piracy.
Yep. The only reason at that point you would want us to pirate is if, one, a specific dub for a show is not available on that platform, e.g. the old Neon Genesis dubs if you're so inclined, or, well, I know, weird comparison, just the first one that came to mind. 2 is if like some old anime or movie is not available on there. Like there's a bunch of cool anime that movies that I've downloaded that I intend to watch that look really fucking cool, like Angel's Egg, Ninja Slayer, etc. That I'm pretty sure I would never find on your traditional like streaming service because there would be no reason to.
Any of the old Macross anime, specifically Macross, not the other thing.
Yeah. I don't know this for certain, but I would imagine that Star Blazers is not available on some streaming platforms. Maybe. It used to be available on YouTube for free through
the modern version is available through Funimation, but the old one, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, a lot of Ocean dub anime would be hard to come across as well.
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of stuff that has been out of print for over a decade.
a lot of that would come down then to like the companies themselves that distribute these anime, like Sunrise, as we're going to mention in an upcoming playthrough, is a very fucking stupid company. Boy,
Uh,
howdy.
that I have some modicum of hope for them because they've been putting out a lot of their recent properties in the Gundam verse on Funimation's app.
That's good.
Build Di- Build Divers is on there. The TV version of Gundam: The Origin is on there. The physical release of Orphans is produced by Funimation. The actual physical copies.
Yeah,
So it's not impossible theoretically that the Gundam titles could come to Funimation's app,
that
but
would
that's doubtful for any of their older properties, any of the sub only or pre-digital era.
take your Golden Trinity OVA or Holy Trinity OVAs and War in a Pocket, Stardust Memories, or 8th MS Team, stuff that
Yeah.
really deserves ports to platforms because the Blu-rays are goddamn gorgeous. I imagine also like I don't know if Gundam Wing ever came to streaming platforms. That'd be super cool. G
I,
Gundam, not just because shout out to Bailey, but also because it's a genuinely good show that deserves, exposure to people. I mean, if you want an example of something older that comes to a popular streaming platform that blows up, certain young bald-haired boy who bends air that came to Netflix, I'm just
oh boy.
saying.
Yeah. The other problem with Sunrise's physical releases for a Gundam is that every Blu-ray they release is like $75 for 25 episodes or less,
Yup.
and the cost to value ratio does not hold up, especially for some of the shows that are from 85 or 92 or whatnot that I guarantee you no one is buying
Yep.
or that have a stigma surrounding them. And you'd get a lot more people to watch and attracted to your platform if you had any and all of those shows on there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um,
Like
he-
my stupid project, it would
yeah.
have been a lot easier if they were all on someone's app.
Boy, would it. That at this point in time, companies these days are generally a lot better about actually posting their newer stuff to platforms, but it's when you want to access the older shit that's like, that's dubious. Not anime, but Nintendo has been really good about this recently with posting some older shit to like their virtual console or whatever it's called these days.
They ju-
I'm
they
old.
just they just call it online now.
Yeah,
NES Online, SNES Online. It's debatable and looking unlikely whether they'll ever move forward with N64. I can guarantee you they're not going to be able to do GameCube because online app holding gigabyte sized files.
GameCube. Thank you. That's a big one that is pirated because of inaccessibility. Sorry. God bless the Melee Online community.
Truly, what a radiant topic of discussion.
I already made that comparison earlier, but
The
yes.
other one, Path of Radiance, is the one that's $250.
I thought they were both $250.
Radiant Dawn is the one that's $80.
Still not great. Yeah. No, thank you. Just
No.
kill it. Nope. This is where playing in downloading it, and I can play in 4K and 60 on my computer. Pretty good trade-off. A big one for me is Twin Snakes. Fucking shit. I know I'll never see that on a modern console. That saddens me greatly.
I love being able to modify my Wii U to play the GameCube games that the system is already natively compatible with.
Yep. Or modifying the PlayStation TV to play PSP games that are said to not be compatible with it, but then you try it out and it runs anyway. Fun.
Compatibility is a beautiful thing.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the reasons why piracy exists. So there is a portion of the piracy people, that's a weird way to put it, that will ultimately just jump on it in order to skirt profits. I understand that, but you also have a lot of them that mostly do it out of inaccessibility. A big one for me. I own all the physical copies. I don't give a shit, but I would totally emulate Xenosagas episodes 1 through 3. One because 1080p support, and the other being easy access to them. Because I'm not. I know for a fact that I'm not gonna get the HT collection for a long time, and if I did, I know there'd be issues with it. So I'm like, I could just play on my computer. No big deal. There's more comparisons I can make offhand, but those are the big ones. Or you do it to play a game on a computer and get much better net play. I love it when the online community just magically know how it actually fucking runs because you have servers.
Fuck you, Bamco.
I do love me this delay-based netcode on everything.
Tekken never stood a chance.
Still, for my God, you didn't play Tekken Tag 2 online. That was the actual pits.
I didn't get into that thanks to you until like 2 or 3 years later.
Tekken Tag 2's online had a serious issue where initially it will match you up with someone who has 5 bars, but the game misreads it and they'll just jump back down to 2 out of 5 bars. That's
oh no.
Yeah, that's why it's ultimately a symptom that these games are more made for Japan because everything in Japan is so much closer and in their network is so much not more regulated versus America, where it's like a mafia among the fucking ISPs. Side rant. I'm not gonna go down that path right now. But it's made more for Japan versus America, where it's like, oh no, there's like thousands of miles between people.
I think that's because the Japanese developers working on this game don't really realize that America is what it is. That you can't quite go from one end of the country to the other in a single day on a train or on a road trip.
That would be breaking the sound barrier a few times over.
Japan is every bit as insular as it sounds. They don't really know what's going on in the world outside their bubble.
They don't really realize that a lot of their player base and or viewer base, depending on what it is likely in America and not in their home country. Dragon Ball, or at least DBZ, yeah. Raw numbers. Thank you, Tommy.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, this is why I support piracy in some instances, but not in others. Support when you can, but make your own decisions if the price is reasonable. Like $5 a month to get nearly unlimited access to anime, yeah, support them. Hell yeah, because that money is most likely going to Funimation, which would most likely be going to Japanese studios because they work directly with each other. Right? It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, that's another thing that people have had wrong.
Sorry, I actually do want to complete my comparison. Actually, now if you were to pay $250 to this one jackoff in fucking Kansas who is wanting $250 for his one game staying in his back collection because his buddy told him it's worth that much, fuck him. That's me. Anyway, continue. Sorry. I want to complete that comparison because it was very apt. Make your decision. Be smart.
You just reminded me of how not too many years ago, Aniplex was actually doing their own forced scarcity thing. Bit of a bit of a scorched earth policy. After they would release some shows, they would only keep them in print for like a year or two, and then never again. And then so some of their shows that were already $300 because they don't come in a regular box. They come inside a fucking lunchbox for some reason. Cost $300. Now you have to buy it on the secondhand market. Now it's going to be $750.
Didn't you say that one of these things was Madoka Magica? I remember you telling me that was about they did something similar, but in a movie version with theatrical runs for one of the movies, and it was only in movie theaters for like 1 day or 2 days, and it was super fucking expensive. Do I have that right?
Uh, Not the same thing, but yes. What Aniplex does, when Aniplex does screenings, I don't know if they do this anymore, but when they were doing the Monica movies, it was you're going to pay $40 for a singular ticket for a singular screening, and it might not even be in a movie theater. Sometimes we might literally just pull out a projector and a screen in a building.
uh Man, I'm glad
Like
Cinemark when I worked for Cinemark they were a little bit better than that, and normally they do play actual anime movies in movie theaters proper, so that was cool.
when that was making the rounds back in 2013, I think I heard actual horror stories of like some of the screenings in certain places because they couldn't get actual theaters to play them, even if they were willing to pay them for the actual space and time. They had to go into like convention centers and actually literally pull out convention center projectors and screens and play them like as if you were watching a panel at a convention.
That sounds like the actual worst thing ever.
And you're paying $40 for it.
$40 to sit in a very poor back support seat with no elevation in the area with which you can sit upwards, so you're usually stuck behind 12 other people. Oh god. Oh god, that sounds like the worst thing ever. Oh
for
Jesus.
two for 2.5 to 5 hours.
I wouldn't even pay $5 for that. Holy fucking shit.
Nope. But so yeah, that was a thing they used to do. But yeah, no, some of their like I think it was Durarara and some of the earliest Monogatari shows, they would only print them for like a year, and you could only buy them in this stupid collector's crap where it's like everything comes in a lunchbox, and we don't even give you a proper case for it to fit your Blu-rays or whatnot on the shelf, and we're going to charge you $300-400 for this 10 or 12 episode show, and you're going to fucking deal with it because our shows aren't on streaming platforms yet. And then in 2 years, you're going to have to pay $700 on the secondhand market if you want to watch that show. Not even legally, if you just want to have access to that show without claiming to be a pirate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But cycling back a couple of minutes, a thing about supporting platforms and the third-party companies that license these anime out in America in the first place, a thing that people have been getting wrong for the past 10 years
Naturally.
is the only people that make any profit on streaming or whatnot are the companies that license them out. All your money goes straight to Funimation or just straight to Crunchyroll. That is not true.
Didn't Mother's
That
Basement make a mistake like that once?
Yeah, he might have. He's done a couple of videos on the subject over the span of a couple of years.
Yeah, I feel like it was him or Digipro. Someone made a mistake like that. That was a YouTuber.
No, yeah, that would have been Digi. Digi is often full of shit. It's sad that his good content has been floundering in recent years. So that hasn't been true for about 10, 12 years, ever since the actual boom of streaming with shows like Titan and Sword Art Online. With a lot of shows ever since seasonal anime exploded, the production committees have mandated an actual royalty or a licensing fee. That can be as much as outside of just production and outside of production of a subtitled release or a dub release, a like $50,000 per episode royalty that goes into the studio per individual episode.
Hey, isn't this the thing that 4Kids was trying to skirt with Yu-Gi-Oh? Or am I mistaking this with something else?
I think that's something else. I don't think this sort of policy was in effect at the time.
Right, because that would have been streaming, but I do remember they were back there pocketing royalties. Anyway, unrelated.
So people have been saying for years that the money only goes to the streaming platforms, not the people that actually make them. No, that money does one way or another go back into the studios that produced the anime in the first place, in quantities of about 50,000 at a baseline per episode that just goes straight into the studio from the pocket of the American licensor. It's a royalty fee.
Pretty fucking good chunk of change actually for a full episode.
Especially when you consider how expensive it is to actually produce an episode.
Yes, and how underpaid, unfortunately, a lot of the Japanese animators are.
Ye-
Poor
That's,
bastards.
that's an entirely separate topic of discussion. We could go all night on that one.
Yeah. There's an anime you
Alright.
can watch about that.
Yes. Go watch Shirobako on Crunchyroll or buy it directly from Sentai Filmworks. It's a great show.
Plugs.
Okay, what's next on the docket 45 minutes later?
Oh no, that was like only one of two real talking points I had drafted up. I didn't really have anything else besides the other fun one, which I will now bring up because it's worthwhile, it's very topical, and I was just watching it today. You know where I'm going with this. I need to scroll through my Twitter first. This. Okay, let me turn off my webcam for a quick second. You can say it's fictional all you want, but being attracted to a character designed to resemble a child counts as being attracted to children. You sick fucks. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a little slice of life show airing right now called Uzaki-Chan. There's a full name for it. I can go retrieve it. It's not too different beyond that, though. So
Uzaki-chan Atsubitai, or Uzaki-chan wants to hang out.
that's it, yeah. That's the full English translation. The proper Japanese name is something Uzaki-chan wa Atsubitai, which you just said. I feel dumb. So this has been making its rounds. Oh man. So I'll put it succinctly. Twitter's been having a goddamn fucking meltdown over this character. Let me pull up a actual proper full-size image of her character and we can dissect. Well, not dissect, but we can have that discussion. Let's go with the manga render. Why not? It's pretty fun.
I'm not expecting you to pull out a dojin.
Oh no, I'm not doing that. not at this time. Let's save that for after hours. Let's save it for Twitch.
No, Twitch
yes,
will ban you
come
first.
to our Pornhub stream where we'll talk about hentai. I'm starting to support live streams. Just go to the webcam website. Why not?
I still remember back in the day where cheeky people would upload that one game of the World Cup where Brazil lost like 1-7, and it was called the greatest fucking of a lifetime.
They still do jokes like that. Hot double D fingering. It's just double D from Identity. I love shit like that. You know what? This is a slightly better image. Both are fine, but might be a little more constructed to my point. You can check it on the stream playback if you want, but it's pretty much exactly what you expect. So, Uzaki-chan, what's up?
You should pull that one out of shit posting.
Which one?
From today.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look. Oh no, I'm not post. That's cursed. I did not want to post. Thanks, Bailey. You goddamn bastard. Oh, I do like this Warhammer one. More Sugoi Jakai, more like Sugoi Daka. I don't know what that means, but Warhammer guys say that. Anyway, so I'll put this. What's the best way to describe this? So, Twitter. Okay. God. Okay, we need to backpedal a little bit so I can actually explain a couple things about American audiences sometimes. Wish me luck on this one. Bob's about to get canceled. So, this all started, I think, back on Tumblr. I want to say actually. I don't think this was a big thing on DeviantArt. Those guys are usually more busy drawing inflation art than anything else. I'm putting that nicely. So
You mean redesign world?
No, I mean character ray tracing world where they just colored him in. God, Sakura's everywhere. Anyway, so Tumblr a few years ago, until to this day, unfortunately, has this tendency with some users that they'll be like, "This character design is shit. Let me actually fix it." I've seen it so many times with One Piece. That's a separate matter. I've seen it with other characters that they deem to be quote unquote anorexic or what would be their actual body type.
We
And
talked about this in a playthrough once, but the one that sticks out to me is Kasumi from Persona 5, where people were getting all offended. I think this was
oh
like
yeah,
a point of Twitter, because how dare this actual gymnast be wearing a leotard? I'm going to draw Ruby from Ruby's skirt over it and give her full-length leggings to make this costume feel complete.
that is
Because Atlas didn't finish it the first time. Aren't I so funny?
that is a very contemporary reference, but it's unfortunate how on brand that is and how accurate it is. God damn it. So recently an anime has been to set that up. Recently, an anime called Uzaki-Chan Wants to Hang Out was slated to get a anime adaptation. The first thing that was coming out of everyone's collective minds was, "This is getting a fucking anime." Like this is people describe it as borderline hentai at times. I've seen Raya describe it as such. I've seen other people describe it as such. I went and looked at a few panels. I'm like, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not Monster Musume. Holy shit! It's actually kind of cozy in some ways. Anyway,
People were chill on Musume. That still kind of gets me.
that show did happen. Anyway, so the show starts happening, and of a section of the crowd on Twitter, because I'm spending a lot of time these days. I shouldn't do that. Has been becoming more and more vocal.
That's a hell of your own making.
That is a hell of my own design. I'm fully aware of that fact. Have been becoming more and more vocal about how she was designed as a child.
Yeah.
Dramatic pause. Okay, let's unpack that a little bit. So people have been complaining that apparently Uzaki-chan is drawn like a child, even though the very premise is that she's a woman in college.
She's 20.
She's 19, but pretty goddamn close. Like, very obviously meant to be legal. I think
It's because she has the baby face.
it's the baby face and the demeanor. I think people are confusing her with an opie lolly, which is an actual, like, thing that luckily isn't in anime too often. Thank God. But it's not that. Like,
She's too much of a gremlin to be an actual adult.
yes. Like, I think they're confusing that with this one very degenerate anime that came out a few years ago. The one with the sister who's very lazy. It was a whole, like, pseudo slice of life anime. Yeah, I think people are confusing it with that, and it's not. So, I showed Taylor this discourse today, actually, because why not? It's kind of funny.
I was there when you showed her the first time.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I got to show her further. Actually, no, she didn't think that was an actual show at first until I told her I was watching it today, and she saw it like on my monitor, and she's like, "Oh, that is a real show." I'm like, "Yes, it is." That was a funny revelation. So, I take umbrage with this on two fronts. One is I'm fully convinced most Twitter users are just looking for something to be mad at because they can't actually go outside.
Yes.
I feel that as a very real possibility. And the other is that I don't think most of these people have ever met a real woman before.
We've talked about this many times as well, but yes, it's possible.
Yes.
For short people to be stacked, and additionally, it's also very, very common that some people just start developing very early.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, but it's possible to enter puberty quite literally as early as 8 years old.
Yes, indeed it is. I have heard unfortunate stories about women as early as 10 years old becoming pregnant. I do not need to know that, but that's a thing I've heard from people. I choose to take that with a grain of salt, but unfortunately I can think it's true.
That's a different matter. But imagine how terrifying it is for an 8-year-old to find out they started bleeding from their crotch.
Yeah, no
It's
kidding.
it's
uh,
terrifying enough for most of them when it's like they're 12 or 13 or something, and it happens for the first time. Actual child, not even preteen.
so from what I've heard from Taylor, it's actually more mortifying for girls if their mom isn't with them and they are raised by more or less a single dad. Because
Oh no.
how do you approach a dad with that? Yeah,
uh,
Taylor had to go like a good. This might be TMI, and she probably doesn't want me sharing this, but it's where it needs to be shared. Like she did go a couple months without being able to tell anyone because felt she was uncomfortable doing so because Mormon family. Yeah.
yeah.
Them's the breaks with religious folks. Anyway, so already I can, even back at my community college I went to, I met more than one girl that is either A, this short, or B, this, what's the word I'm looking for? Like this scrawny. Like I have legit met women who are 20 years old and look 12.
Yes.
Even with me, I am right now, I'm 26. I still sometimes meet women who are older than me and look half my age. Real stuff. So
I don't mean I don't mean to be derogatory, but at the same token, have none of these people ever met what's the technical is the technical term still dwarf?
um
Little
I don't.
people?
I think it's more little people now, but I'm not sure.
I can understand if you haven't met them, but surely you've heard that exists, right? People that just at a certain point they just stop growing taller.
If you're talking about me, yes, I know full well about that.
No, no, no. These
Yeah.
people on Twitter.
Yes.
They're trying to come up with any and every excuse, and well, I don't know how to break it to you, but for a myriad of reasons, people are going to look like that for any number of reasons. But
Yes. Sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes while they're growing up, unfortunately, they're malnourished, so it actually stunted their growth. Um,
yes,
any number of things could actually result in this. I think what might be slaying some people over the edge is the disparaging between how big her tits are and how small, relatively speaking, her body is. And personal note, like Taylor is like a foot shorter than me, or maybe even a foot and a half shorter than I am. I think she's
do
up
you
five
know
feet
her
sometimes.
exact height?
5'1", I think.
Yeah, no, that'll do it.
Yeah, and her bust is roughly the same as Uzaki. And so that really makes me wonder, wow, these people really not met women before in their life. Holy fuck. Or they think it's blatant sexualization, or maybe they think they're maybe
Wait,
like
wait.
shoot.
No, it just clicked in my head for me. It's the two things, one stereotype and an anti-stereotype that merged in one. First of all, I don't think most of these people have ever actually met an Asian person in their life, and don't have a concept, any concept of how tall they typically are,
Yep.
or lack thereof. And at the same time, that if they have, they also know that they're typically not developed. And so
Yeah.
when it's the two of them put together, it's like this can't exist. This can't be real. This person can't be Asian and large at the exact same time. That's physically impossible.
I feel like it's for one of those reasons you mentioned that why this might be general a guess. I admit that, but that might be one of the reasons why like breasts are still so sexualized in Japanese culture because women are typically like not super developed over there, even like if they're past my age. So I can imagine that might be why there's that disparaging between like the two viewpoints. Like she looks so young, but she's so top heavy. I think that's like I think that could be one of the reasons, but that's just a wild guess. If I could speak from personal experience, yeah, it's rare for me to meet an Asian woman who's above 5 feet. I
Exactly.
don't want to generalize that, but I think it's true. Like every one of them I've ever met in my life, in colleges, personal life, etc., are always somewhere below 5.5 feet.
Now they won't always be, but that is typically the most common type you'll find.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like It's not the complete rule, but it's like an average.
The exception that proves the rule. What was it? The tallest basketball player in the world is Chinese.
I think that was the tallest man in general, and there was pictures of him taken next to Shaq once or twice.
It's the exception that proves the rule.
Boy with few subs, how to donate? There should be a link in the description box if you go down there. I think I haven't actually looked at my PayPal link in a while.
It's called in the chat itself. It's called Super Chat.
Yeah, the super chat should be enabled. I know. Oh wait. Oh, I don't think super chat's enabled anymore because I lost monetization on my channel. Not for any fault.
Right.
Not for any fault of my own, but I think it was
about
just
to lose your monetization because you're talking about Uzaki.
Yeah, it's clearly I am the right fucked now. No, I think that was just because I lost, or rather I think there was a timer on how long I had access to quote unquote monetization because of Curse Network, and
yeah,
it just
the
ran out
membership.
recently.
Uh,
Funny stuff.
that's a separate matter.
That's fun, but yeah, no. So the whole Twitter discourse is silly. I have suspect that this is more, and I don't want to speak too broadly here, but I have suspect this might be a knee-jerk reaction on everyone's part. I'm gonna say the P word. Oh boy.
Wet.
There. So
Hey.
there's been a insurgence of people thinking that pedophilia is a part of the LGBT community.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I have suspect that it's a knee-jerk reaction to that, which, I mean, no, they're not trying to join the LGBT community. That's a misnomer spread by the right wing to discredit the LGBT community. Thanks a bunch, guys, on Facebook. Anyway,
They have their own term for that. Actually, the people that are trying to legitimize it.
the Clovers, something like that.
It's called MAP. Do you know what a MAP is?
No, I don't. Do I want to know?
Minor attracted person.
Oh, that's right. They're trying to be portrayed as like a mental disorder to humanize them. Right. I forgot that shit.
It's like a modern take on Nambla.
I can't believe fucking Nambla still. I hope Nambla doesn't still exist. I don't think it
I
does.
wouldn't know. The one and only time I heard about it in any great detail was that South Park episode like 15 years ago.
Same. And I guess that should be for the better, actually.
Oy, oy, oy. But
That episode was kind of hilarious, though. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, side point. But I do suspect that a lot of the discourse over Uzaki's design right now is just a knee-jerk reaction to that movement supposedly being a thing when it's really not. You're yelling at phantoms that are just lies being spread, likely by Poll. It's usually them. Poll on 4chan is usually the bad people.
It's also the people that are of the mind that even the vague concept of Lolita automatically equals pedophile.
Yes. Yeah, which is funny because it doesn't even mean that, but yeah. Yeah, I can definitely construe that.
You might have heard of this, but it was sometime last year. Patreon actually removed any and all creators that were remotely affiliated with creating content around Lolicon or Lolita.
I didn't hear about that. I did hear that they were getting rid of a lot of
They had a mass
that's why a lot of people moved to
categories.
Like I heard that's why a lot of people migrated to OnlyFans because Patreon was cracking down hard on like sexual, like IRL sexual content, which goes against their updated terms of service.
They did a mass exodus of many categories, but that was the one that on YouTube at least stuck out the most.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's the people that because of that, or caught a glimpse of that and just assumed that that sounds about right. That makes them automatically a pedophile. They should be banned for making any sort of income because of if they're making that sort of content. And all of those reactions are pretty much all centralized on Twitter. And those people hearing those sort of story for the first time in a year are just sort of carrying those same feelings.
Practically. On a side note, I did watch the first 5 episodes of Uzaki-Chan today, and honestly, it's kind of fun. It's a very, very lighthearted show that's kind of needed in this day and age, so I fully appreciate it, and it's kind of cute. I'm only 5 episodes in. I haven't fully caught up, but it's so weird to think it's already been going for like a month and a half. Okay, this is a full render of the proper anime design, and even this is still like not the worst thing in the world.
To give something from the slight opposite direction, there are also reasons to dislike the design or character. If you're not into it, that's fine. The issue really isn't the chest. It's not. It's the gremlin design. They fucked up the face. Go back and forth between the manga render and the anime render. They fucked. I don't know quite what it is, but something between the eyes and the hideous skin thing. They got something wrong, and a lot of the charm that did exist in the manga renders is just gone in the anime.
I don't know if I'd say all the charm is gone, but it definitely does feel a lot more like something I've seen in other anime too. Like it's definitely like not fully there.
It's mostly in the eyes.
Yeah. Then again, animation studios like drawing eyes is usually like an art form unto itself, so I won't harass them too much about that.
So if you
Oh
just
no,
don't
the
like
eyes are different. Like there's like a lot more texture on the colored version versus the one that we actually got. Interesting. No, I never thought that actually.
So if you just want to dislike the gremlin for being a gremlin, that's fine. Characters, whatever. But yeah, the design isn't perfect. To also get that out there either, it's not infallible.
No, definitely. I know people who are already sick and tired of seeing her. Personally, I think she's fine. It's definitely up there in terms of the slice of life anime designs I've seen, so I'm not bothered. But conversely, like there is like it feels like there is a dichotomy between the length of her hair and like the relative shape of her body. Because like on the one hand you have Gremlin, on the other hand you have Godzilla. In a weird sort of comparison, but it does feel like the hair wants to be longer. Maybe that's a weird thing to say, but that's just like what I get.
The sister.
Yeah, I haven't seen the sister yet in the anime, but yeah, I've seen pics of the sister. Actually, wait, she's right over here. How about that?
Convenient.
Yes, mom is pretty good too.
Yes.
But yeah, show good. You guys should go watch it. Oh yeah, I pointed this out earlier too, on Twitter. You probably saw this. The funny thing about constantly raising a bitch fit over a series you don't like is that it gets more people to know about what Uzaki is. I've seen this especially with a lot of people sharing on Twitter, like, I don't know who his character is, but I'm already sick of her. You're still getting the name of the show out there and the character design, so people associate with that. And as a result, that's going to start getting more eyes on it. Congratulations. You not only played yourself, but you're also getting the series you hate a season 2. Congrats, boys. You did it. You done it.
It's the Last of Us 2 effect.
Yeah, it's what the hell is some other examples I can get? I don't want to make that comparison, but it's kinda
What's that?
Hotaru, the character from the Candy anime. I forget what's called. Dagashi, that was it.
Dagashikashi?
Yeah. Like, the show itself was pretty bad, but the character drawn was a fucking goddess of a character design, so I got it season 2, even if it wasn't as good as the first one.
Were people complaining about it or her?
No, it's just not the story itself, or by itself, the story is whatever. It's really Hotaru's design that really, like, was just so exceedingly well done that just got a second season. And so it kind of artificially bolstered the ratings.
I came to the realization a couple of years ago that studios will put out any kind of crap if they know that a single character design, doesn't matter who it's from, and the whole show can sell dojins. Because that means that show will make money.
Don't you love your mom with her twin hitting attacks?
Oh my god. Don't go there.
Yeah. Like, 10 out of 10 design, probably not very good story attached to it. So, no, I feel it. I feel that.
It's the worst of both worlds.
Actually
It's
drawn by a hentai artist, too.
Oh, and that's the other thing, actually.
Pretty good one, though. I will admit that. I will admit that.
A lot of these designs that are clearly meant to sell dojins. Well, I'll put it to you. I'll put it to you in the most delicate way I can. Those designs, they're designed like that on purpose because the original artist of most of those manga, actually are dojin artists.
Nope,
So
I
they're-
know. I'm aware of this fact for some stuff.
So they're quite literally just trying to maximize their profits. Which, I mean, good on them, I guess, but you're buying into the machine.
You really are. That goes against the Dojin's spirit.
Bless him.
And his chronic beer buying.
We call that alcoholism.
Yes, we have a word for that. It's called being an alcoholic.
Let's see. I'm gonna make myself look like an idiot, but if you want a prime example for saying this out loud, if you want a prime example, there was a podcast I was watching the other day. You might have seen the link to it, where it's where the guest for the week is the Japanese adult video former star Kaho Shibuya, and she has literally the exact same stature and figure as Uzaki, and she's only like 4'10".
Seriously.
Yes.
Damn. I think I heard stories that Hitomi Tanaka is not that tall either.
No.
Like 5.5 feet, maybe at max.
Something to that effect. She's lopsided, but that's a different issue.
That's the proof that they are natural. I love actually having an idea of how female anatomy works. As opposed to how Twitter do, I guess. Side.
And yeah, Twitter people, dumb, have been trying to compensate their lack of boredom by saying, hey, let's redesign Uzaki. Let's make her an actual gremlin. Or let's make the chest make sense, for example, by adding like 30 pounds. So it just looks so it proportions even out by her actually being mildly heavy. It's like, okay, but that's not how that works either.
Yeah. I'm looking for the comments on that one post I brought up earlier, and it is pretty goddamn cancer. This is a pretty good one, though. Uzaki shirt, what is your wisdom? Just because an anime girl is short doesn't mean that she's a child. Thank you.
I have to imagine, I don't know, I haven't read this manga, I don't know if that scene is in there, but the don't diss someone for liking something scene, I really do have to wonder if the studio just came up with that on the spot once they heard about all the reception it's getting.
You'd wonder. No, I watched the episode. It actually does feed back into how in the very first episode she was making fun of the main character for going to see a movie by himself. Funny.
I like it. Well, so long as it serves a purpose, I guess.
It is a nice show. I do recommend people go at least try out the first 2 episodes. It's fun. It's relaxed. There's no extreme stakes or anything. It's nice.
It probably doesn't help that that for most people the first thing they saw was the clip of her getting stuck in the hedge.
That wasn't my first clip, but that's because I'm mindful and actually look for stuff on the first day. But yeah, I think I wouldn't have had that in the second episode.
That was actually the second episode.
I feel like it was. Let me go pull this up in a side window and go double check that because I feel like it was.
That was one of the most rampantly shared clips within the first week or possibly 2 weeks. and that alone is probably what turned most people off of it. And I have to be honest, from an outside perspective, just seeing that scene in a vacuum would probably turn me off for most shows too. Not because I dislike fan service, but because at that point I think, okay, this is going to be the dumb kind.
It's if you suffer from secondhand embarrassment to a severe degree, I would not watch it. But the punchline is that he's trying to yank her out of the bush, but a couple women turn around a corner, and since this character has the tendency of looking like a bit of a douchebag already, he scares them off because it looks like he's banging her in the bushes from behind. The clip.
I've seen the whole clip.
Yeah, it's not the most offensive thing in the world to me. I mean, I thought the Goblin Slayer first episode fun. So it's not the worst thing, but yeah, I would probably place this scene probably about episode 6 maybe, because generally like there was the first episode where they went to like the pseudo Best Buy, and there was her like standing on the vibrating stool and in the vibrating chair. The text coming up was she's just trust this guy, she's just getting a massage. That was kind of funny. That was admittedly kind of funny in terms of fourth wall breaking with having to assure the audience, nope, it's fine, it's cool.
And then the bit where he's playing the PSVR demo.
Grabs tit, which, to be fair, big target. Although it was funny how he didn't even know what the fuck had just happened. So, yeah, I think it's kind of funny so far. It's not the funniest thing I've seen in Slice of Life so far, but honestly, I think it's good. I'm gonna be in it for a long haul. I'm like one episode away from catching up fully, so whatever. I also popped it in today because I needed a break from marathoning Berserk for the last 2 days.
If you need a palate cleanser and are in search of something cute, then after 8 years, I think it's finally time that I show you K-On!
That's true. I was debating on either watching Uzaki or Flying Witch, and I came upon Uzaki just because it's more timely and it looks adorable. Flying Witch is definitely like on my immediate priority list since, well, I can't do too much else right now anyway, so might as well get that look.
How do I put this? Flying Witch will make you feel like a child again.
I get that enough with One Piece as it is, so this will be fun.
Ironically, despite being surrounded by deceptively large people, hidden in plain sight is the best kind of fan service.
Duly noted.
It's subtle, but it's sweet.
I guess closing notes on the Uzaki thing. This post is particularly great. 15, 17. Someone thought Ichigo was 14, but okay, rolling with it. Giorno, 15. No one blinks an eye. 19. Everyone loses their minds.
Hold on. I have to pull up an oldie but a goodie. Also, Ichigo was 15. It's kind of in his fucking name.
Is it?
Ichigo.
Oh. I thought the Ichigo part was the strawberry part. I'm dumb. Okay.
Ichi means 1, go means 5.
Didn't know that actually. I'm going to assume that was done on purpose. Although that purpose seems kind of weird, but alright. Doesn't work so well after the 2-year time skip then.
No. Hold on a moment. Damn it, an old meme got replaced by a new flood of anime memes.
Isn't that always the case? Well, I guess as long as Brandon's looking for that, since I'm also looking for topics to talk about right now because I'm just kind of filling time.
There we are. Now I found it.
It's going to end wherever I feel like. This post from Retro Studios has me concerned. Well, let's see your meme first. What you got? Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, you know what? As long as we're on that, I have something similar to share if I can go find it.
Show it to the audience.
I will do so.
You can tell how old but gold this is because it's using old OVA, Jotaro.
It's still very apt. Do I not have in that folder? Maybe it's over here. Damn, I have a lot of miscellaneous shit to go through my side folders. You'd eventually sort this out. Hang on. There it is. Oldie but a goodie. I am just an average 14-year-old middle school student.
What do we got?
Not wrong. Boy,
Hold on.
Baki the Grappler. When he first showed up, he was 13 fucking years old. You know what? Hang on. No. That's 2003. Maybe it was 2001. I'm in 2001. Ah, yeah. Here we go. Okay. You want the real definition of disparaging? This version of Baki the Grappler, right here, 2001 anime. This version, 13 years old.
What do we got?
Something I'm familiar with it from a kid, but I never did finish the first series. I need to eventually kill that so I can watch the new Troy Baker version.
I don't like this show, but it makes for a great example.
It's a half decent show. I need to actually sit down and finish all of it because I did watch like the first 10 episodes as a kid, up until after the first time up until after the first time Baki gets his ass kicked by Hanma.
No, not Baki. This, the thing I just sent you, the most recent one.
Oh, you did. That's a railgun. Looks 20,
Yes.
20 but she is 14. Oh, yeah, no, I remember. Oh, wait, no, that's a different thing I'm thinking of. Looks 10, she is 40. Oh, yeah, she's one of the same series, too, right. Funny how that works out. If you want another example, one of my favorite personal examples is, you know, the old tried and true 11 years old. 11 fucking years old.
Oh.
Yep. I don't think this one needs explaining. Arguably same stature as as her as well. That's funny.
Piccolo Jr. grew to full maturity at the age of 4.
You're arguably right. I always thought he was 14 while I was growing up. I didn't figure he was 11. I can buy 14 out of this, but yeah.
No. The actual character of Piccolo is only 4 years old.
Oh,
when
right.
he appears.
He's 11. I'm 6. Oh.
Yeah.
Don't you love perspective?
Something Tiki is like 3,000 years old. You can go ahead and lewd her, or marry her off to whoever.
Ravioli, don't loo the dragon lolly.
Or no, not Tiki. Whatever the fuck the other one was named in Awakening.
Oh, right, her. Noe, I think?
Yeah, because she appears in a chapter alongside the Schwarzenegger guy.
I only remember her name offhand because I keep fucking pulling her in Fate and Fire Emblem Heroes. Only reason. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I guess to also break from that point, like I mentioned earlier, this post has me worried. We are looking for a lead producer to join us on our journey to develop Metroid Prime 4. Right. Well, Bob's kind of just on for time. Well, we just fuck around and talk about nothing. I have nothing else to do right now. It's cool. So this has me worried on a number of fronts. This game was first showcased at like E3 2017, I think. Yeah. It has now been 3 years, and we have literally not received anything beyond this.
There was a company that was announced to be making it, and then they had to go back and start from scrap. And then like a year or two after that, they're like, okay, now we're gonna actually bring on Retro.
We're actually gonna go back to the original developers of this fucking game. Go figure. Yeah, that's a bit worrying, guys. That's
something. The original developer was the people that made the Castlevania Lords of Shadow 3DS game.
That
So
was the
that's
guys. Okay, that was Mercury. No, it wasn't Mercury Studios, was it? It might have been actually.
it
No, it
was.
was Mercury Studios worked on the 3DS game while it was some company. Oh no, it was the Fox engine that was used, I think, for the Lords of Shadow series proper.
Kojima was a producer.
He was, and you can tell he was a producer. Because as much as I do like Lords of Shadow, even though I would prefer PC port personally speaking, it's very cutscene heavy. That's just a yeah. But Mercury Studios did pretty fucking well with the 3DS Metroid game, honestly. And Mirror of Fate was honestly one of the best parts of Lords of Shadow, the series as a whole. Now this, you and I are both familiar with the company getting a certain amount of progress with the game and then scrapping it partway through. You probably with Sonic 06, me a little more with like Kingdom Hearts 3. I know they had to restart at least once because fuck the Luminous engine. That was a nightmare.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was originally developed or in development by
CyberConnect
CyberConnect 2,
2.
and after 2 years, they had to scrap and fire CyberConnect 2 because they just weren't making any progress at all, and they
Nope.
had to restart from scratch with was it Tabata? No, no, they took him off the project. It was with just straight up Nomura.
Yeah.
And that was also why KH3 took so long, was because he was actually split down two major releases. See, the thing is, when he's not working on huge, big budget, full console titles, he can actually crank out a lot of shit very quickly. That's how they were able to produce literally 3 or 4 Kingdom Hearts games back to back in a span of 3 years between 2009 and 2012.
Yep.
4 of them back to back because they weren't big budget.
I think one original was still fairly decent budget, but wasn't like expansive.
No.
I think that was the difference. But no, you are definitely right. Nomura is a fascinating creature sometimes because he simultaneously can deliver some really banger shit, like with Final Fantasy VII Remake, but conversely, his schedule will also get screwy, really screwy, depending on the projects going on at the time, because Square Enix doesn't really know how to stagger releases too well at all.
No.
Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15. These aren't related, by the way. This is just examples of big projects that came out recently. Kingdom Hearts 3, FF15, FF7 Remake. I'm not gonna count Octopath Traveler. I think that was developed by another studio.
Yeah.
Uh,
By the separate studio that made Bravely Default.
the studio was made by Tecmo Koei. Bless those guys.
Uh,
Man. But yeah, even just with the workload of 3 fucking major IPs, granted, I'm pretty damn sure you've told me that Kingdom Hearts 3 started development after 15 was released, which, good. And it also helps they switch to the Unreal Engine, which, frame drops notwithstanding, is much easier to work with than the Luminous Engine because trying to work with something developed in-house is not always fun. No.
ugh. No.
No.
Well, the first problem with the Luminous engine was that they debuted it like 4 years before they were ever able to actually release a single game working on it.
13. Yep. They got those teasers back in 2005.
No.
Might be 6.
13 was the Crystal Tools engine, and
Oh,
that
really?
they got yes, and they got 3 games out of that. They got the 13 trilogy out of that. 15 is the only game that was ever made on the Luminous engine, the
Really?
one and only. Yeah, they released a tech demo for it in like 2012, and the only game they released on it was 15 itself before Kingdom Hearts 3 was planned to be used for it, but they had to cut off development of that pretty early on and switch to Unreal.
I can't say I blame them because it doesn't. The Luminous engine. Sorry, Luminous engine for 15, right?
Yes.
Okay. That engine never looked like it was gonna hold up greatly because 15, like, it's still a pretty heavy action game from what I've seen, but Kingdom Hearts 3 is like floating all the time. I don't think it would have been able to handle all that shit, honestly. I think
The
I've already heard
problem,
stories of 15 already having frame rate problems too, before
yes,
patches.
yes, there is no way to make it on any platform run at 60. It runs anywhere from 20 to 50.
Yeah, you know, that was another big, in my opinion, in hindsight, I think that was another big crippling issue of the Crystal engine is that it was too far ahead of its time.
Yes.
That might sound weird, but looking back, it's easy for us at this point to look back on the PS3 and be like, "Lol, that was such bad hardware," or "That was such weak hardware." I mean, if you're only tapping into the baseline version of the PS3 and not like the development tools, which I'm pretty sure they did anyway, yeah. But like looking back on it, like there's that 13 in some cutscenes or even just gameplay rivals fucking like late PS4 games. Not strictly in
Yes.
terms of revolution, but detail. It's fucking amazing. So,
The Go ahead.
oh, I didn't have a point. I just said so just to because I was thinking I had a point, but I didn't.
The problem with Luminous is the problem that a lot of regular people had when they first got an HD TV for the first time in 2008 or 2010. It's like, I can see the news anchor. I can see all of their warts and birthmarks and freckles. I've never been able to see that much detail.
Yeah,
It's kind of unsettling. It's all flash and no shine. If you zoom in on the models of the four jackasses when they're actually in the car driving, and you can do that, you can freely rotate the camera and zoom in and stuff.
hmm
You can freely see all of the individual birthmarks and dots and crap on their faces, and that's when you realize, for pretty boys, these models are actually kind of ugly.
mm,
Like, I guess they fit the genre loosely, but these are not the sort of people that I think most people would actually be fangirling over, as was the norm 10 years prior. If you get an up
yeah.
close look at them, it's pretty game for the monsters and the environments, but not so much for the actual characters.
That's so funny to think. Noctis shown at the teaser in 2006 was not too much different from the Noctis we actually got released.
No.
So
Oh,
that really means like Noctis that we did end up getting was meant to appeal to people from a full generation ago, like the Hot
yes,
Topic days.
yeah, more than you know, actually. They were designed specifically at the time by Nomura to fit an archetypal fashion that quite literally only existed for a 3 year period between 2005 and 2000, or 2000, between 2006 and 2009,
hmm
and was not seen much afterwards, and thus made them almost unrecognizable, especially 6 to 10 years after the fact. Literally a decade behind a fashion trend.
Yeah, the belts and zippers weren't really in vogue anymore. They had moved on beyond that.
Oh my god.
Jeez, to think that we got a sort of evolution of designs for Nomura from like 2002 in the year of our Lord 2016. Yeah, that's fun.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so I guess on that little tangent, which was fun to go on, this has me concerned for Metroid Prime 4 on a number of fronts, like you probably gleaned from our little side rant, because the fact that they've been so secretive means that they've had 3 years so far. They've already changed development studios once. We know they've already had to kill at least one build, which, granted, we don't know how complete that build would have been, but it's still worrying to a good capacity because builds are difficult to come by, especially in various Sonic games. Yeah. So this
I
has.
don't know,
What's up?
I don't know, man. Thanks to things like the Nintendo Giga Leaks, it's not impossible that we might not come upon those failed builds in like 12 years.
The things I would do to see what progress is made on this game at this very moment. Holy shit.
You know what it reminds me of, actually, and it's still kind of topical, is Bayonetta 3 was announced at the 2017 Game Awards.
Oh my god, you're right.
And we've heard literally nothing about it ever since.
No More Heroes 3 has kind of been in the same boat, actually, now I think about it.
That has a release period. I think it's still set for this year. But
Best of luck.
we've had what's his ass Kamiya say like 4 different times, even though 2 games by Platinum have released since it was announced. But yeah, we're still working on it. It's still coming out. It's still on schedule. We've not had any issues with it. That's why we've not revealed any gameplay or cutscenes or even her new design.
One of which was a little game called what was actually a canceled game called Scalebound.
Yeah, there's that too. But
Side note.
Astral Chain for the Switch came out.
Oh god, did.
Yes, and there was something else too that they released more recently that I don't remember offhand.
I know what you're talking. Wait, that's not that robot game that came out, was it? Or, I think that was a different company.
No, it wasn't. Fuck, what was it called? It was in like 7 Nintendo Directs.
Fuck, I know what you're talking about.
Demon Ex Machina.
That was it. It was the fucking mech game.
No, that was Marvelous.
I did not know it was Marvelous.
I think they were only the publisher on that game.
Here's hoping. Anyway. Actually,
yeah.
This has me curious. Now, what the whole has Platinum Games put out recently? The only major thing that comes to mind to me was the Star Fox Zero game.
That was 2016. That was the year before they made the announcement.
Yeah.
Of Bayonetta 3.
Let's see. Oh wow, 104-101 did get a remaster. I forgot that.
Oh yeah, that did happen like a month ago. No one played it because apparently the remaster was bad.
Let's see. 2019 Astral Chain, 2018 a game called World of Demons, 2017 Nier Automata, I guess, and Lost Order. 2016 was not a good year because they released Star Fox Zero and TMNT Mutants in Manhattan.
They did make that. I forgot they made that game.
I think it's better that it stayed forgotten.
They
The
had
developer
a
actually
revealed
revealed a short video about the progress of the No More Heroes 3 game. I am grateful to hear. I remember something about that, but I didn't remember anything. I didn't come to mind offhand. Sorry, look at chat.
I swear they did something else recently too, but even if they didn't, for a complete reveal to release of Astral Chain between the reveal and release of Bayonetta 3 is concerning by itself.
Yes, definitely.
Especially since on the side they also did those PC ports of Bayonetta 1 and Vanquish. That was a bundle.
I think they also did the port from Metal Gear Rising for the PC.
Yes.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I might actually buy because I mentioned this to you. I played the PS3 version again recently because Metal Gear Rising was my favorite fucking game, and I'm just like, God, we had to put up with this back in the day with the 720p resolution and a bad frame rate. Holy fuck, and the load times. My God.
That's about right.
Yeah, that fits into place pretty nicely. Anyway, yeah.
It's only like $20 on Steam. You can't really go wrong. Plus, it has all the DLC and crap included.
Yeah, well, most of the DLC is already free anyway, but the Gray Fox DLC being free, that'd be nice. Too bad in game costs like an arm and a fucking leg.
Which does?
The Gray Fox sword you can get, which has
right.
which has like a good chance of one-shot enemies that I think aren't bosses, but that was gonna make it to my super weapons countdown, but that cost way too much fucking money. I like the more moss better, so personal preference.
Right, because all the DLC in-game is stupid expensive, but the game is also bleeding you for money.
Some of the DLC is not bad. Like there's just one medic DLC where you get white armor for Ryan. You can carry 10 med gels instead of 5, but it still costs like $5. I did buy that because aesthetically it looks nice, but yeah, I'm also a sucker sometimes. Just sometimes. If you're not,
I love when
like Albert.
I love games that have DLC that you have to pay actual cash for, and then the item in game you either have to spend time unlocking it, or you have to actually buy it with your in-game currency. Well, then what the hell did I pay you the actual cash for if you were just going to make me work for it anyway?
Oh boy, I do love me some Fire Emblem Warriors. That's something I do need to stream to get caught up at some point, but that also requires me to actually get the money for the wires. So, that's fun. All in due time.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. So, another talking point. I'll try to pull it up, but there was an interview with Suzuki, I think his name is, one of the primary producers on Dynasty Warriors, where they were talking about the 20th anniversary and about 9 and whatnot, and plans they have going forward.
It's funny. I was actually gonna mention if you want to talk at length at all about the other little anniversary that came out recently that you've been on about.
So which one?
Rice cooker.
Let me get through this first.
Okay, one step at a time.
Oh yeah, also Koei put out a trailer which is just a bunch of clips of the old games set to celebrate their 20th anniversary. You know what? It's dumb. It's okay. But at least it's not fucking rice cookers and shoes to celebrate your 15th.
Here's to that.
Does anyone besides me remember when on their actual 15th anniversary they decided let's release a tactical RPG on the Dynasty Warriors 8 engine?
Guilty Gear did get for I think close to his 10th anniversary actually a tactical RPG on the 360, no less.
Oh my god.
Yes, I don't. What the hell was the name of the game? Hang on, I'm gonna go look this up.
Overture.
What's it called? Guilty Gear Overture?
I'm pretty sure.
Feel like you're right. Oh god, it looks worse than I remember. Like
early 360.
Really worse than I remember. Holy fucking shit. Yeah. Guys, don't do drugs like Daisuke Shiwatari, and sometimes you get the decision to make your fighting game into an RPG. Then again, I think this might have been a time period when Arc System Works actually didn't have the rights to Guilty Gear.
Makes sense. The year would have been 07 or 08.
In fact, the fact that they didn't have a license at the time is actually the reason why they made BlazBlue for the time being. It's funny how it fits into place. I don't know why they fucking lost the rights to it. It's some fucking arbitrary reason, I'm sure, but yeah, they just kind of made BlazBlue to cover themselves, and they still never have made that BlazBlue Guilty Gear crossover.
If you're telling me the reason for time loops is because of copyright laws, I believe you.
That would be the best meta answer you could possibly give for that. And also be too smart for them. Okay. It'd be smart enough for Guilty Gear, not too smart for BlazBlue.
Okay, so let's see, I have it here. Akihiro Suzuki, producer of the Dynasty Warriors series. I completely forgot about this, but when 9 and some other stuff was announced, they also announced that they were going to be making a live-action Dynasty Warriors movie. Actually shot and cast in China, so I don't think he could go.
Good on them.
I don't think you could go too wrong using a Japanese cast, but if you want to go fully authentic, go for it.
I
Just
would probably more. So this is just me because I don't trust the Chinese government because you shouldn't. I would probably go more for international Chinese actors. I think that would work out better in the long run because China is really strict about a lot of stuff that comes into the borders, honestly. So I don't know about that one.
yeah. Um, I think that should probably be fine. That was something they announced like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Apparently, apparently it's done now. So that
Oh, really? It
it's
happened?
yeah. Apparently it finished production. So
Hmm.
should be coming out sometime this year or next.
That's cool.
Let's see. Dynasty Warriors 9 system itself doesn't fit the Extreme Legends format, so there are no plans for an expanded re-release. Um, yes, and the reason for that is because they already had 3 expansion packs due to season passes, and there's also a shit ton of cosmetic DLC and weapon DLC, and they've already tried consolidating those into individual smaller bundle packs. And it's like, if you want to get all of the DLC for the cheapest amount possible, it's about $90, and
Adds
you
up.
that's not even all of it individually. That's all of it consolidated into a bundle, which means cheaper. They wouldn't want to do an Extreme Legends because it means they wouldn't be able to keep selling all of that DLC if you can just buy it on a new disc.
Let me show you guys the little thing called the price point for if you were to buy all the DLC for Dead or Alive 5 last round. $1,117. I feel like it's higher, but I can believe that.
Dynasty Warriors 9 is not received well by people who expected a usual Warrior/Muso game, and while there have been strong criticisms, there have also been voices of faint praise. I think we may have derived and broadened our range too much on the challenge.
You don't say.
So at release, the game was a dumpster fire. That much is absolutely clear, running like garbage on every system.
Yep.
It took them 9 months, but they did manage to make it playable. I still have yet to finish the game, and I don't want to, but there was a period last year or 2 years ago where I did actually spend like a month playing it. And I don't know if I was enjoying myself, but I was definitely making progress. I didn't loathe it as much as I did at launch.
Which is
So
fine. At least the game was running more stable. Although that then begins to beg the question, where does the game fall apart in terms of like its actual game design?
making it not implode on itself for the most part is a decent start, even
Yes.
though at that same time it was still doing things like sending you to the Shadow Realm when we tried to set up a multiplayer game,
Yeah.
or one time quite literally freezing on the ending credits of one character's story campaign
Oof.
and forcing me to reset the console. And it was doing that after 9 months of patches, so after a full 2.5 years, who knows where they're at now. Um,
Power Warriors 4 runs on a 9 engine, right?
no, I'm pretty sure it's still 8. And I
Oh,
say that because even more recent games have diverted back to the 8 engine, like Orochi 4. Um,
that adds up. I remember we had a conversation a while ago where I was asking, aren't these games still being made on the N engine? And you said, well, we have to upgrade to 9 at some point, but I thought that meant 9 was also on. Sorry. I thought that meant Power Warriors 4 was also on the 9 engine, but considering how smoothly it ran, I didn't believe that. Considering I know that the 9 engine is still really unoptimized.
no, it's still a mess. To date, I don't think they've made a game on that engine, and I don't think they really can. I think this is going to end up being a case of Luminous because, for one, unlike 8, which is infinitely replayable, I can pretty much foresee completely that 9 is going to be at some point abandoned on 8th gen hardware, or Yeah, HN hardware. It's not going to be going forward into the ninth, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it's one of the games that's abandoned by backwards compatibility as well. So when they eventually have to make when they eventually have to make a 10 on the PS5, it's definitely going to be running its own 10 engine. That's pretty much a given.
Yeah. If I can speak objectively, because I do actually enjoy myself some open world games, there's absolutely the groundwork to make something, fairly decent with the 9 engine, because 9 or a Dynasty Warriors game being set in an open world is not impossible. Like, you just have to, it really comes down to like load times and how you optimize the game. I really think it's gonna be the bulk of it, but I think they probably. I don't think it needs to be said that Koei definitely spread themselves way too fucking thin with this project when they were doing it. You can even
This is
see in the
going to be
budget cuts with getting like in completely unknown voice actors for the game.
This is going to be a weird point of comparison, but I think the problem with the format is that they tried this new style on Dynasty Warriors in particular. I think you can. It would take a lot of work, but it's not impossible to make a Muso game work in an open world. The problem is China is one of the biggest countries on the planet,
Yep.
a lot of the battles locationally are very few and far between, and I mean very far between, and most of them in the actual Romance of the Three Kingdoms take place in the top left and top right corners of the map, and you have an entire bottom half of the map which is almost entirely jungle and flatlands, and there's nothing to do at all during the trek from battle to battle. I think
Yeah,
they
I think a way you could circumvent that, and this might not be the best comparison, but maybe something akin to how Metal Gear Solid 5 did do its fast travel. Not necessarily by helicopter, but I mean, like having multiple like smaller hub worlds versus like one massive condensed one where there's literally nothing to do for stretches. Like, no, I'm not saying that you turn Dynasty Warriors into Desert Bus. As funny as that would be, but more like trying to segment the open world into like multiple open worlds that are smaller. Skyrim kind of does this to a degree where it's not one master congested overworld. It's just the big one, and then you load like a bunch of smaller either towns or like dungeons, and you can have like sub areas too. I think that would probably work out for the best in terms of going to multiple like places for. Okay, I don't remember any of the fucking. I don't remember any of the facts of Nature of Dynasty Warriors. It's been too long. Shit.
It's fine. I wasn't done actually. I was gonna say something like this could work, possibly even probably rather well in somewhere as small and population dense as Japan.
I see
You
where you're
could
going with
have
this.
you could, I think they probably could have gotten away with it if it was structured well by doing it in Samurai Warriors 5 instead of Dynasty Warriors 9. Because at
Didn't
the very least, relative scale to the battlefield, you would never be too far away between individual battles that you would actually be setting your horse to the auto button for actually 15 minutes between any bouts of combat.
didn't that one Samurai Warriors game focusing on Yukimura actually do something a little bit similar? Not like an open world setting, but like a more sort of like open non-linear feel.
Not exactly non-linear. What Sonata Mario did was Spirit of Samurai. Spirit of Sonata. What it did was, in order to get from stage to stage, you actually had to traverse a smaller, thinned out, narrowed corridor map. It's like you would do a stage in between major stages, since like traversing one end of the map to the other would be like you actually making the trip from one area to the other.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like you actually did the travel part of going from one area to another to do the battle. It wasn't bad. It was odd that they would. Honestly, I think they did that just to fill time because they realized it would have been a shorter story than than like a regular Samurai Warriors, or I guess direct one of comparison other Basara game, having every character's individual story or faction story. Um, you could do something like that. I guess I don't see a problem with something like that, but in a story mode that would be as significantly larger as Dynasty Warriors is in Samurai Warriors, I think that would artificially increase the play time too much. If you had to do that every time between battles in Dynasty Warriors.
True. That's why I like the idea of fast travel being readily accessible in any sort of open world game. That's why Morrowind, for as revolutionary as that game was, it did have a pretty rough fast travel system. Like, it didn't tell you marks; you had to actually take notes of where shit was, and you couldn't just fast travel on command. So, I feel like in that regard, it's a bit dated. That's why Oblivion did so well, and just giving you a free fast travel to wherever you want to go. I feel like there's definitely groundwork you can work with that's already been developed by Western companies, but that feeds into the issue that you'd have to be inspired by Western companies, and the Japanese aren't too keen on that at times.
You'd actually be kind of surprised in that regard. They haven't done it in 10 years, but there was a Muso type game published by Koei that was actually developed in Canada.
Uh,
Warriors Warriors Legends of Troy.
the fuck? Huh.
Yeah, you can look this up. This is real. It's a Warriors game. A lot harder than normal. I think it's based on the 6 engine. That's actually based on the Legend of Troy. That's why in Orochi 3, why Joan of Arc is a guest character.
Oh, that actually explains something? Huh. Wow, this is definitely a 360 game.
Yup.
Damn, okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that explains where
Achilles.
fucking Achilles comes from in Orochi 3 too.
Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Joan of Arc. God, I'm fucking stupid. Joan of Arc came from uh, Blade Storm: The 100 Years' War, which was the war about the French Revolution, I think, or the French-English War.
Hmm. Yep, there he
But
is.
yeah, that's where Achilles comes from. Is Warriors Legends of Troy.
Truly, you do learn something new every day. Huh. That does explain that, at least.
Yeah, so honestly, there's a lot of even non-anime stuff they could make Musos out of.
Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps the open world system won't be adopted in future number titles, but it is the best method to pull out the appeal of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Although I don't still know what kind of title it will be like, I want to try making it once more. I get what he's going for. Have you ever? Well, I know you've never played Romance of the Three Kingdoms or uh, Nobunaga's Ambition, but have you ever played or seen footage, for example, of Civilization?
I'm not chatted enough to have played those games, no. But yes, I have seen gameplay for Civilization before with the top-down perspective. It's very similar to actually, no, it is Civilization. That's what I'm thinking about. Fuck. Never mind. I have seen it.
Have you ever seen what Nobunaga's Ambition or Three Kingdoms looks like?
It's very similar in concept, right? The top-down look, where it's essentially it's not an RTS, but like a real. Actually, no, that would be an RTS. What the fuck am I talking about?
Uh, strat.
A
Yeah,
strategy game, real-time strategy.
yeah, yes, something like that.
Yeah.
Where you are literally managing an entire country, or in the case of Civilization, an entire planet through menus and all that. And you're watching everything play out in front of you in real time. For something like that, I guess I can sort of see it. Again, it's iffy on whether or not a Muso could work in that style. I get what he's saying.
I think
Or
I think an RPG revisited for Dynasty Warriors could actually be pretty good, but it depends on how you go about it. Because from what I have witnessed, every RPG I've seen for Dynasty Warriors is either inaccessible because of the console, or it's just heavily unoptimized as more of an afterthought.
Funny thing about that, actually, the tactical RPG for Dynasty Warriors 8, Dynasty Warriors Godseekers, wasn't actually their first time making a grid-based RPG for the series. There's actually Dynasty Tactics 1 and 2 on the PS2,
Huh.
based, I think, on 3 or 4.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Actually, I think I've seen the cover for this before.
They're PS2 classics. You can buy them on the PS3.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, okay, I have seen this before, floating around at Fallout games, more than a couple of times. I always found it funny that it did look a lot like Warriors, but I couldn't tell if it's the same company. Well, I guess this puts that to bed.
Yep.
Speaking of being put to bed, I should put myself to bed. It's like 2 in the morning right now.
Oops. There's only 3 more points on this interview.
Okay.
Although it's just my own personal opinion, I think such a route like Dynasty Warriors 9/2 would also be possible. So, for maybe that's also iffy. For Samurai Warriors 4, instead of doing Extreme Legends like they did with the first 3 games, they decided, nah, we're just going to remake 4 from the ground up and call it Samurai Warriors 4-2, which is an expanded story of the first game with major gameplay revisions that I still personally don't think are as good as the original. But they changed the structure of the story mode. You no longer have faction-based stories like you did in Vanilla 4. You have individual character-based stories, and there's only a handful of them, meaning in a story context, you don't get to experience every individual character's story from front to back. Which already wouldn't have been realistic anyways, but that's what the faction-based story was for. If you didn't, yeah, I don't know. If they're going whole hog with it the way it's implied in Samurai Warriors 4-2, then maybe if they redid the gameplay completely, but I'm not quite sure how that would play out. Because it means like they'd have to. Would it mean a whole new system of combat entirely? Would it mean going back to AIDS, more simplified combat, or would it mean trying to actually make the state combo system, which is what 9 is, which is basically when they tried to turn it into Basra 4 with all of the trigger attacks, make that not so completely route and uniform? As well as redoing the story, because those cutscenes are miserable.
Yep. I've seen glimpses before.
That's rocky. If it means I can fix the glaring flaws, I say go for it, but don't expect sales. Unless you make it specifically a budget title. I hope we can announce the 20th anniversary celebration title soon. By the way, there is not just one title to celebrate it with. That can mean a lot of things, too. Does that mean they're going to jump theoretically straight into a Dynasty Warriors 10, or more spin-offs, like how the 15th anniversary game, again, was Godseekers, the tactical RPG? If we're talking the realm of spin-offs, what do you think they would or should do?
Oh, you're actually talking to me. Well, I mean, Samurai Warriors is always ripe for the picking. I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but Samurai has not had an entry to ruin its reputation in the eyes of the fans recently. I mean, I think that the Spirit of Sonata might have been tenuous to some people, but I don't think it was the worst thing ever. So there's plenty of room you can do with that. It might be too soon for Orochi 5, so maybe not.
No, God, no.
I
I should clarify, when I say 20th anniversary, I mean of the Dynasty Warriors series specifically.
Okay.
So spin-offs with the Dynasty Warriors characters and likenesses.
That's a great question. What the hell else is there they could work with then for Dynasty Warriors?
Into other genres, for example.
Oh, I see. I mean, RPGs
because
are always the easy answer. They could go back to trying a fighting game, maybe.
that yeah that yeah that would have been my first guess.
Because it's funny because if you're celebrating the 20th anniversary of Dynasty Warriors, Warriors did start as a fighting game originally, like pretty much just like Soul Edge. Maybe we should try it out at some point too. So it's not unfeasible that it could be like a round table kind, like a comes full circle kind of thing with being a fighting game again. So I don't know. The FGC has been pretty big, but it's been stagnating a little bit lately with COVID and everything. Soul Calibur did okay, but not anything like groundbreaking compared to fucking Tekken. So I don't know. And I don't know if I'd also want to do a Tecmo Koei fighting game simply because Dead or Alive 6 kind of tanked.
Was that a matter of quality, or was that a matter of just not having a long-standing community?
I have no idea actually. Like I know a lot of people who picked it up day one, but then like no one kept producing content for it. It might have been rocky content or shaky online. It's Japan, so of course they're probably gonna have delay based netcode, but it's for 3D Fire, so I guess it makes sense. But details. Um, oh, then again, there was also a huge shit about there was something about the game for content that really bothered people. I don't remember what the fuck it was.
Something about toning down outfits to make it esports friendly.
No, that wasn't it. And it's also bullshit because there's already plenty of fan service costumes anyway in the game you can just use.
Exactly.
It's just so they
Um.
don't piss off the sponsors at a glance.
Oh right. All of the well, traditional DLC bullshit as usual, but
Oh no, wait,
huge,
no. I
huge,
remember what I know what it
huge
was.
in for microtransactions.
The microtransactions, that was it. The fucking thing about it costing money just to change your character's hair. I
Yes,
remember that now.
and you had to pay for it every time you wanted to change a character's hair. If you wanted to buy the blue color, you couldn't just have a character buy a character's hair be blue and just have it be that way forever. And if you wanted to change and then change back, you couldn't just do that. You'd have to pay for it to be blue again every time you wanted to do that.
Right. I remember that sounded like bullshit. I had to look into it, but no, it was 100% true. The hair color, you literally had to pay. I think it was either you have to use an exorbitant amount of in-game currency, yay,
Yes.
or if you were unsatisfied with it, you could microtransaction your way to it, which is still like $5 for a single one, I think. So yeah, I think it was really a combination of that and some of the questionable PR that kind of took it
That
down,
what
as well as Tekken 7 being just that good.
that didn't happen at launch. That happened a year afterwards. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I would
Um,
imagine that would have been a problem though. That's why everyone was making the jokes. Hey, well at least the point's free.
yeah.
Side note, Blender Dead or Alive stuff. Oof.
uh, uh, so
But yeah,
yeah,
I can only really imagine a fighting game first, maybe an RPG second. So I don't know.
in the realm of fighting games, would you want it to be would you want it to be a Soul Calibur game in the sense that every character is defined more by their weapon than anything else, or do you think it would just default in-house to being made by Team Ninja?
So I see that as more or less being the same thing. Dead or Alive is not really a weapons-based fighting game. I mean, otherwise it would turn into Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and we should not go down that path, personally speaking.
No. What I mean is contracting Namco to
Oh, I
make
see.
us to make this Soul Calibur 6, but with a Dynasty Warrior skin, or to just have a game made in house by Team Ninja in the style of Dead or Alive. Because Dynasty Warriors has enough of their own fan service characters that they could get away with that.
I foresee more going with Namco to create it because it's on the on average, it was definitely a lot more popular, I would say, than what Dead or Alive has done, personally speaking. Um,
I mean,
I
people are
think,
still playing.
I mean, yeah, Soul Calibur does still have a fairly active community. I'm not gonna say a chump change compared to Tekken, but it is still there, just tiny. Um, yeah, I wouldn't see the guys for Dead or Alive making it because they guys also have some bills to play, or bills to pay. Sorry.
It also wouldn't be as expensive paying a contracting fee.
Yeah. Have you watched
Okay.
Chaos Child? Yes, I have. Hated it.
uh, the live action movie is already done, and I watched the advanced screening. It's a wonderful movie and is totally a muso. Well, that's
What
an
is
interesting side project to look forward
whatever
to.
that means? I guess.
I mean, I have reasonable hopes for it. Typically, I mean, there's a reason why in the late '80s through the whole of the '90s, there was an Asian action movie boom in the West, at least.
You're not
So
wrong.
I
Back then, Bruce Lee was kind of spearheading that, followed by Jackie Chan and Jet Li. So there is definitely merit for that. That's for sure.
on national reputation, I have tempered hopeful expectations that an action movie in that style could be decent.
Yeah. It would definitely be very effects heavy. Otherwise, why are you even doing this movie? If you want to capture that quote unquote Dynasty Warriors experience, then yeah, you gotta have people blowing through like a dozen enemies at a time. So that would probably work out. I guess I do have some moderate optimism because a lot of Japanese movies that have been coming out so far that we have watched have turned out to be pretty good. Um, Again, this might be comparing apples to oranges. I don't know, but Bleach turned all right. I've heard okay things about FMA, sorta. I haven't heard anything about JoJo Part 4. I'm surprised it did happen, actually. We'll have to go check that out at some point.
All right.
Yeah, right. Oh, also, side note, Rohan OVAs. So, there's that.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I'm certain there's some other examples I could be thinking of. I feel like there was a Death Note thing made in Japan a few years ago before Netflix tried a hand on it, and that was fun.
There were like 3 Japanese live action Death Note movies.
Yeah, yeah, that was. Wasn't there like late 2000s, I think.
Yeah. Although that was really funny because those movies were dubbed over by the Ocean cast in English, and hearing Brad Swale come out of an actual Japanese boy's mouth is something else.
That would be fucking amazing. Oh god, I feel like that's our next drinking project right there. Because I haven't watched Death Note since I was in 8th grade, I think. So that could be fun.
0708.
Yeah.
Okay. Since that was the last actual question, I guess let's round this out with: Do you? Well, two-parter. Do you think they're going to keep going forward with the licensed Muso games since they haven't done too well in sales, barring a handful of titles? And if they do, what do you think would be their next move in terms of anime or video game licenses?
That's not a fun question. Um, well, considering I've played most of their spin-off games by now, um, that's a tricky one. One Piece is still doing well, so that's a given, but I'll take a few more years because, you know, well, actually, we might not even have to wait that long because of the rate that fucking Oda's putting stuff out. Berserk's not getting anything. I already know that for a fact. That was 26. Berserk Muso was kind of more of a marketing stunt to go along with the Golden Age movies and the 2016 anime hype. So nothing there.
No,
Uh,
it released It released in tandem with the 2016 anime.
Yeah, but it didn't it wasn't in far enough to include the wonderful decision to include clips from the anime to cover the Tower Conviction arc.
No.
Probably for the better, honestly. That means I'll have to worry about masking out the Golden Age arc details. Personally speaking, what I find to be the most likely candidate for getting a new spinoff right now. Well, actually, no. Let me divide it into two answers. One is new spinoff. The other being new series spinoff. Fire Emblem. I can 100% see a new Fire Emblem Warriors game coming out.
All right.
Three Houses. Yeah. I've heard endless things from people about missing characters for Warriors, which was, Ike, insert million other characters here, Roy, etc. As far as new IPs, that's a fun one. They've done one for Attack on Titan, so really anything could fucking go at this point. My Hero's a stretch. Definitely not One Punch Man because they've already gotten sullied themselves by the good company.
Don't you want to play that new One Punch Man mobile game that's being promoted on all of the channels you've never heard talk about anime in your life?
I don't. Maybe I'm lucky. I haven't gotten any of those. You know what? Let me actually go just look at my fucking anime folder, see what I can get inspired by. You think it's too late to get a Dragon Ball Z Tecmo Koei game? Oh, wait. Type Moon? Because they already have Extella through Marvelous, but Extella is just the extra universe. That's not nearly comprehensive enough. Do you think we'd get one for like Grand Order?
I want to say that's not impossible, but I think because they're pretty much directly partnered up with Marvelous, both due to publishing stuff and just being the Senran Kagura people, and they also made what else did they? They made a couple of other things too, like they made that Neptune game and they made the Gintama game.
True.
Even if it's not in the extra universe, I think if we were going to get any more hack and slash games, I think they would by default all be made by Marvelous on the Bishamon engine, just by virtue of they already have a working relationship.
You're probably right. That said, though, I've not heard any words about potentially getting an Extella 3, even though I know the second game did pretty well. Well, relatively speaking.
It's still a little soon for that. The game only came out a year ago.
It did, didn't it? Fuck, it's been like 5 years.
Link came out last year. Original Extella came out like 3.5 years ago.
Right.
Well, I know, it's been an entire... I'm sorry. Extella, the first one, came out on Inauguration Day.
Forgot that. That was hilarious. Okay. Man. Alright. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. I didn't even realize I can go full circle with this. So, my other idea would be potentially a Sora Online Tecmo Koei game, which reaching very low on that grapevine, but apparently Alkalization or whatever it's called is doing okay. So, good on them, but alright. And the reason I say it comes full circle is, hey, if you catch the stream right now, my ribs for Sora Online 2 come from a certain website, which proves how much of a hypocrite I am.
It was a different time.
Okay, I will never say I've KissAnime.me. Jesus Christ, I don't remember that extension. What the hell is that? Maine?
Mexico.
Oh god, it might be. It very well could be. But yeah, I didn't realize how full circle I could go with this shit. Man, okay. But no, I think SAO has a good chance because it's popular enough. The only real games it has right now are those really crappy RPGs, which, okay, maybe our only perspective is through, the first one, but I heard the second game was kind of terrible, and the most recent one is kind of okay. That's the extent of what I heard about that. I can't Can't really imagine what else would get one though offhand in terms of what's popular at this very moment. JoJo maybe.
As a theoretical follow-up, Soul Res 2?
A new Bleach game would certainly be. Oh wait, no, a new Bleach game to advertise the new anime, or Burn the Witch. I don't know if you can make a Koei game out of that though, or Dynasty Warriors game.
Not out of Burn the Witch, since we only have the one shot, and the run that's going to be starting next week is only going to be 4 chapters long for Burn the Witch.
True.
Which actually makes a lot.
Wait, that's already
more...
next week. Did I just hear it right?
Yes.
Holy fuck. Okay.
Remember, that broadcast was in March.
Brandon, I'm dying inside.
It feels like a decade ago, I know.
It feels like a lifetime ago.
Although I guess that explains why Kuo kept joking so many times that during that broadcast that, yeah, I've already finished the whole thing already. I've just been playing Animal Crossing the whole time.
Better than spreading the rumors of him playing fucking Idolmaster. I know that's a misnomer, but it's still fucking funny.
No. Him playing Senran Kagura. Fit the brand.
That's great. I guess some other weird things I have in my hard drive that they can maybe make a game out of is Outlaw Star, Rurouni Kenshin. Nah, that's about all I got.
Kenshin's not a bad idea, but that's stuck in the gray area.
Yeah, that's old enough to be like, why would you do something new? Oh, yeah, also the thing with the mangaka, right? That would be an issue. PR.
Which is funny, because
Oops.
Kenshin was still in Jump Force.
I'm going to assume Shonen just did out of obligation and was already slated to be in it.
Probably.
I assume.
My ideas... Maybe someday a return to Gundam.
I was thinking that too. Honestly, that's not impossible either, given that it seems like Sunrise is on a somewhat track right now of acknowledging the Western fan base, although they're clearly not. So it's not a horror idea, but at this point in time, I'm pretty sure the voice talent for Ocean is so far scattered to be hard to pin down all of them for a new English dub. At this point, I'll take fucking anything.
Since they already have access to the models and maybe the license, a proper Final Fantasy game, since they made Dissidia,
yeah,
they already have existing models.
Could be used as somewhat advertising going into the second remake iteration. I mean, not like they need to. I mean, 7 sold more copies than God, so I mean, fucking, I don't even know.
Oh yeah, something.
Oh wait, Grand Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Maybe, because the fighting game was released bewilderingly. They still have that game that was co-developed 80% by Platinum that was announced first. Alongside the release of the anime.
Oh my god, I forgot that.
Like 4 years ago, that still has yet to be released.
I completely fucking forgot that existed. How did I do that? Oh Jesus.
That's what Platinum was working on the side.
Yep. When the fuck did that get announced? That's a better question.
It was announced in like 2016, and then they left the project in 2018.
Huh.
And we've heard literally nothing about it ever since.
Okay, that's a thing.
Probably not too much of a good idea to dilute your brand that much further.
You're probably right. More controlled releases, but it's something that would come out a year or two down the line. Maybe. I mean, if nothing else, I know Grand Blue did do well, or the Versus game did do well enough that it proves the IP is still doing well. I mean, no one fucking bats an eye when Fate gets back-to-back releases. Or should they, but that's just me.
Slight, not for any reason you might be expecting, but they're in my. I see them. I see it in my eye. I see it in my head whenever I close my eyes. I can't get it out of my head. They've already had a fighting game spin-off once, 25 years ago. Rope It Wars Muso. They had a fighting game on the N64. They're pumping games out every year, and they have that mobile game.
You know,
if they wanted to go, sort of like an Orochi or a Warriors All Stars, where Warriors All Stars was not just Muso games, but pretty much everything that Koei did, even stuff that hasn't gotten games in like 20 or 30 years.
you know you're setting yourself up for another import, right? Because there's no fucking way that they would release that in America. Well, then again, Jump Force did happen, so fuck me running. I don't even know. Anything's possible.
I mean, I already imported 3 Robot Wars games. I think I'm kind of on the leash for this.
Probably. I'll take just a new Gundam Warriors game, honestly. There's more enough material you can easily work with in IBO, 00, fucking Build Divers if you want, or some gay shit, I don't know.
They could make something cute out of the Build series.
If you want to continue shilling, oh god, Seed. If you want to continue shilling Seed, if it means we got a new Warriors game, I'll take it. That's totally fine.
Aha. Something to finish what Impact started.
Damn it. I'd rather the Fox Boy go in a hole for a little bit because I thought I heard Naruto Boruto was already going to be the last Naruto game for a long ass time anyway. Maybe I think it's something else.
If it is, then it definitely has been, because it released 2 years ago and it's been languishing between very distant releases of DLC.
True. Alright, maybe we should stop this before we end up staying here for an hour meditating over what potentially a new Warriors game could entail.
Truthfully, this went 2 hours longer than I already thought it was going to, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Enjoy the archive, boys.